My name is Tyler Fornes, and I am one of the co-hosts of the Good, the Bad, and the Hungy AEW podcast here on the Voice of Wrestling Podcasting Network. We take a broad scope approach to the world of All Elite Wrestling and the entire universe of Tony Khan. We talk about the big matches, the big stars, the promos, the storylines, and we also look at it from a big picture perspective. How are things going to change over the course of the next 10 years with AEW still in the picture? How are companies like WWE going to adapt and adjust to AEW? Are they going to be a similar way like they did with WCW in the late 1990s? Will there be a counterpunch? We talk about all of that and more on The Good, the Bad, and the Hungy every week on the Voice of Wrestling Network.
Hey everybody, my name is Jesse Collins, and I am the host of the Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast, a show right here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. On the Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast, we take a deep look at individual issues and stories that are going on in the wrestling world. Each episode is about a different topic, and we take a thorough and educated look at things ranging from current booking trends to breakdowns on individual performers and angles to investigations into different fan cultures across the industry. In addition, we keep a close eye on the wrestling media, and as a professional journalist, I bring a unique perspective to how current issues in wrestling are being covered and discussed through the wrestling media. We have a revolving series of guests from across wrestling punditry joining us on each episode, and we hope that you make the choice to give us a listen on wherever you get your podcast from.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity, and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Very, 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 Mickey, Fishy, Fishy!
You are listening to the Flagship Podcast with your hosts, Joe Lanza.
The fucking sun sucks. I don't know what you people see in the sun. I don't know how you people do the sun. It's just the dirt worst. I want nothing to do with it. I'd be content never going out in the sun again.
And Rich Crage.
This is the dumbest show. I cannot believe these people. Some people pay us $10 to listen to the show live. This is what we give them for 45 minutes.
Been doing this for 10 years. Why?
We're bigger than ever. More people listen to us than ever.
Why?
And we are live on the Flagship Podcast. I am Rich. He is Joe. Joe, what's happening? How are you?
You know, I did a Thursday Dynamite review earlier today, and as part of that, I talked about how this TNA Impact debut on AMC really didn't have any significant buzz, and how much it was disappointing and outright pissing me off. The lack of efforts, attention, and buzz that this show was getting. And as we speak, it's just hitting the air as we go live on a Thursday night at 8:08 Central Time. So I can't speak to the first 8 minutes of the show, but I do have to come on the air on this podcast and apologize. I was wrong. TNA Impact on AMC does, in fact, have a ton of buzz going into the debut show. The problem is all of the buzz is negative. Because after I recorded that Dynamite review and talked about how the show just had a decided lack of buzz and there was just no powerful media blitz. You didn't see TNA personalities all over the place over the last 2 weeks.
Nothing. I thought it was going to be annoying. I thought it was just going to be nonstop assault of, this guy says this guy, the aggregator's just going nuts, aggregating all the interviews that Matt Hardy was doing, that Jeff Hardy was doing, that Santana was doing, that Carlos Silva was doing, Nick Nemeth was doing, and there wasn't much.
Yeah, face fuck Phillips, the whole gang. But
right, Drama King Matt even. Who knows?
But in all seriousness, I mean, while I've seen a few media interviews here and there, there wasn't the massive media blitz you would expect. The announced card was obviously massively underwhelming. The most interesting on-paper match on the card, Myron Reed versus Leon Slater, had to be pulled because Leon Slater was pulled by WWE, who does not even employ him. I thought TNA employs Leon Slater. I don't understand how WWE can say,
we want your employee to work for us, and they go, all right, well, sure, no problem, guys.
And then as it turns out, Myron Reed gets signed by AEW anyway. Now reportedly he was willing to work the match and be a professional since it was announced and all of that, but they didn't need him because Leon Slater was pulled away by Daddy WWE.
The other part of that story, too, to maybe work the European shows. I don't know, because I know did that show happen earlier today? Because
I don't know what's going on with Leon Slater. All I know is WWE pulled him from TNA.
Yes.
No, but I'm not trying to be funny. Like it's your promotional partner deemed whatever they needed Leon Slater for to be more important than the most important night in your company's history in decades.
Yeah.
Which I think speaks volumes to the power play involved and the power dynamics involved in this promotional relationship. Leon Slater is a TNA contracted wrestler. Why Carlos Silva wouldn't tell WWE to go kick rocks? No, he's working our debut. It is not really much of a mystery, but it's still sad nonetheless. But anyway, that was negative story number one. Negative story number two is AEW swoops in and signs the Rascalz one day before the debut. All four of them, including the one man that was announced for a match on your debut show, a match that had to be pulled, okay, with Myron Reed. And then in the lead up to the show today, about an hour before the show, we find out that a bunch of talents aren't going to be there because there's visa issues. Now, how long did Anthem have to clear all this stuff up? They knew the show was coming. How are there possibly still visa issues? How did you not? This is the most important day in company history in decades. How did you not have all this sorted out? So on the heels of the news that they're having visa issues, we then find out that the show script and whatever was scheduled for Genesis is being ripped up and rewritten on the fly because of the people who aren't there because of the visa issues. I am telling you right now, this company, no matter what they do, if they had no legs, they'd still trip over themselves. It is crazy how TNA can just not prevent themselves ever from being TNA. And it honestly pisses me off. The biggest night in company history in decades. And they find a way to fuck everything up. And all of the minuscule buzz that there happens to be for this piece of shit is negative. Now, look, the show's happening right now. And maybe it's going to be the television show of the fucking year for all I know. Okay? And by the way, I'm reviewing it on the Patreon, Friday Impact review, each and every week. We'll see how long it lasts. Okay? $5 tier if you want to listen to that. The best Dynamite review in the world. I may as well do the best Impact review in the world. Apologies to Mike Gilbert. Okay? Who else is? He's the only guy review. Who bothers of reviewing?
Especially the yellow, the piss yellow era of TNA. You're very few people still pounding the pavement of TNA Impact every single week.
But I mean, my God, honest to God, could they have gotten off to a worse start in revving up and getting ready for this show? No one's talking about it except in a negative manner.
Except in the negative stories, yeah.
You got a 3-match card because you don't know you had to pull one match, and now you have to rewrite your pay-per-view because you can't get anybody into the country. I mean, what a disaster. Why does TNA always TNA? Why? They had months to prepare for this. They had months to get ready for this. And they still managed to beat TNA. It's so frustrating.
But it's frustrating, but isn't it a little comforting that TNA is still TNA no matter what? You know what I mean? Like it's you can change the network, you can change the owners, you can change everybody that works for the company, but it's the most perfect cockroach TNA thing ever for them to finally get this deal. Whatever, and we've talked about it since day one, that this deal is probably not a super advantageous deal for TNA in the sense of financially. We don't know what the financials. We have no idea the financials. We know it's better than zero, though, right? It's better. They were getting zero for the last 7 or 8 years or whatever. They were getting zero for their TV deal because they were owned by the station, or they were owned by the company that ran the station or whatever. So it was zero. So anything more than zero is good. But we know, and we, you and I, we parsed that out pretty much from day one. And when you read the quotes or whatever, that this is not they haven't said any of the figures. The figures haven't really come out. The way that Carlos has been very coy about it lets you believe that. And you and I kind of came to the conclusion that it's probably an ad split. And that's fine. And that's an ad split. There's no problem with that at all. AEW started with an ad split. Kevin Riley and the guys at Turner said, all right, this thing seems like it's a good idea, but we can't, we're not going to, we'll do an ad split. We'll do an ad split for a couple months and see how it goes. Obviously, it went very well. By January of 2020 or maybe February, I think it was January, they had then put them in, put pen to paper on an actual deal. So there's nothing wrong with doing an ad split. That a lot of times that happens. But we know that it financially wasn't that advantageous to them, but we know exposure-wise, this was, as you said before, this was the biggest and the best exposure that this company has gotten since the day that they left Spike TV, right? Like this, nothing comes close to this. Pursuit, Pop TV, like Destination America, fucking Access, none of these. I mean, those are piss-ant TV networks compared to AMC, which AMC is not the greatest network in the world, but it blows away Pursuit and Destination America and Pop and all these other ones. You know what I mean? It just blows them all away. So this was that moment that they had that finally, after all, and look, this company, people thought this company was going to die in a couple weeks. And it survives, and it survives, and it survives, and it keeps surviving. You and I did a show, 10 years ago. When was that show? And we predicted, because they were gonna go do a set of tapings in Europe. Remember this? They were gonna go do a set of tapings in the UK, and they had no more money. And everybody reported it. They said they have no more money. They have exactly enough money to run these tapings, but after these tapings, there's no more money, and they're done. And we went on the show and said TNA is gonna go over to the UK. And they're going to have a beer bash final show, and Rockstar Spud's going to be on their shoulders, and they're going to be going, yeah, and then it's going to be, and that's it. And then the company will sign off because they're out of money, and they even kind of resign themselves to that fate. And then Billy Corgan comes out of nowhere and finances them, and then they get a little bit of an extension, and then that kind of whatever. This is the cockroach that just never dies. It never dies. But it's so, to me, it's almost comforting that despite all the trials and all the tribulations and all that they've been able to survive, and then they get this big time moment where they're finally back on a network of some modicum of exposure. Just anything. Like people know what AMC is. If you said Pursuit, nobody knew what the fuck Pursuit was. You were the only goober watching Pursuit, and as we found out, sometimes they didn't show it. Sometimes they'd show a fishing lure, commercial, and then that was it. But this is like a real ass network. Whatever you want to say about the current state of AMC, it's a real ass network. And it's just so TNA, and it's so perfectly TNA that the day would come and you look at the card and there's 3 matches. None of them look particularly good. Kazarian and Mike Santana notwithstanding. That's a pretty good match. That's fine.
All right. They're doing a world title match, but,
right.
I'll give them that. But your world champion is Frankie Kazarian.
Yes. But okay, fine. You give us 3 matches. One of the matches is the Inspiration versus the Elegance brand, for God's sake. Like,
what are we doing?
It's awful.
That's your best foot forward?
Right. And
that's your best foot forward. With all of the strides that women's wrestling has made in America over the last 20 years, your best foot forward when you're showing off to your biggest audience is the Iconics versus Ash by Elegance. Yeah. That's your best foot forward. Okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing, that as we were getting closer and closer and closer and closer, week by week, day by day, I'm thinking they can't be serious, right, about this card. Like, this is what they had all of this time. They had months. And this, make no question, this is a show that you plan months in advance, because this is going to be the biggest audience that TNA has had since they left, right? Like, since they left Spike TV.
Well, listen, now we know the reason. They knew these visa issues were because they didn't promise any of these people who were having the visa issues.
Right.
Now we know the reason.
I kind of, and I was gonna mention that too. I think that this is probably a little crafty thing from TNA to today say, oh no,
exactly,
all the visa, oh we had this, oh no, oh god, none of these people, because they've promoted these same four matches,
and it just so happens none of them were booked, and there was only 3 matches booked. Get the fuck jerk off motion, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
It's just, why is our tone so negative? It because they do this to themselves.
Well, they earned it. Yeah, they earned it.
Why are we not coming on the air saying to ourselves, well, once again, we have a new start for TNA, but this time, AJ Styles has an open challenge. He's going to wrestle some mystery opponent. Who could that be? Chris Jericho. They're hinting Chris Jericho is going to be there. They've got we've got Perez Hilton.
I still can't believe that.
We've got Perez Hilton and visas that didn't come through on time, and reports of the pay-per-view having to be ripped apart and rewritten.
Yeah.
And if that's not TNA in a fucking nutshell, and I got to come on here and I got to talk about how no one's looking forward to this. It has no buzz, and now it has negative buzz.
Yeah. So I am watching, and I don't want to. I won't spoil it for you. Do you want me to? I have it in the side. I'm not listening, obviously. Do you want me to interject if there's a big time thing? Do you want me to stop and mention it?
If there's major happenings,
okay.
I don't care. Now listen. I'm going to watch the show as soon as we finish, and then no matter when I do the review, I'm not going to put it out until tomorrow in the afternoon.
Got it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So if there's major happenings, that's fine.
If there's I'll break in with a major happening. I will say, in terms of the best foot forward, like we said, that is the term that we're going to keep using, and I want to keep using, is the best foot forward. This is your debut show, the biggest audience you're possibly going to have in decades. And the first thing you see is AJ Styles, who appears, again, not wrestles, appears. He shows up. He does, I don't know. He cut a little promo and then left. I don't know if he challenged anybody. Nobody came out. AJ just showed up, and I'm sure he just talked and then left or whatever.
Well, that's their little make good for taking away Leon Slater.
Yeah, which is an absurd. That's an absurd make good.
Yeah, it wasn't scheduled. He wasn't scheduled otherwise. That's their little make good. Oh, AJ. Now, here's the thing. AJ already did this once.
Yes.
They already had AJ come in and cut a rah-rah I love TNA promo. I love it so much you'll never see me again.
I love it so much I'm never going to wrestle here ever again. I promise you that.
Right. That's their make good. That's what I'm saying. We should come on here talking about how AJ Styles is doing an open challenge. He's going to wrestle in the main event, and maybe Chris Jericho is going to be there. They keep hinting about Chris Jericho or whatever. Whatever big happening, best foot forward scenario you can think of. We're getting none of that.
No.
We're getting none of that. We're getting a haphazardly put together piece of shit 3-match show with no buzz other than negative buzz. And we find out today that the whole thing fell apart, and they're basically rewriting it like Vince McMahon rewriting Raw as it's happening. That's where we're at. And it's frustrating. This should be one of the few times we're super positive about TNA and talking about, what kind of rating can they pull tomorrow? You know, they're going to have a lot of eyeballs on them. How many of those eyeballs are they going to hold for next week and the week after that? But that's not the tone of this conversation. The tone of this conversation is, how did they fuck this up? And, now listen, again, we do this show live. So maybe there's somebody listening to this on Sunday afternoon saying, boy, did they have egg on their face. That was great show.
So the greatest wrestling TV shows of all time. I will say, it started with AJ Styles cutting a promo, and the next vision we saw was Elijah. So, you know what I mean? Like, that was the one, it was AJ Styles, Elijah, and the Hardy Boys were the first grouping of people that you saw on the show.
What level of confidence do you have that we're going to have that egg on our face, and this is going to be some home run debut show, and which everyone's going to be talking about all weekend, and Genesis is going to do record pay-per-view buy? I mean, what level of confidence do you have?
Almost zero. And one of the big reasons why, and you'll see when you watch the show, because you're somebody who has watched TNA recently, it looks the same. It's the exact same show. The cameras look the same. The ropes look the same.
Awesome.
The rings look the same. And that was another thing, too, that so frustrates me because, again, you knew 4, 5, 6 months out, okay, this deal's happening. Work with the stage we have right now. Work with the thing we have right now. But when we start on AMC on January 15th, this shit's going to change. It's going to look a little new. We're going to just a new coat of paint, a new something.
Gotta look major league.
Right. And I don't know that I would say this looks major league. Yeah, best foot forward again. And I don't think they put their best foot forward. I think they put the same foot they've been putting forward again, still.
As I've been talking about, that was going to be one of my major talking points when I do the review. I'm not necessarily going to be looking at, I could give a shit if they have a bunch of 3.5-star matches and great angles. That's great, and that would be a nice bonus. But the things I'm really going to be looking for are, what's the presentation like? How does this look to someone who hasn't watched TNA since 2009? How does this look to someone who's never watched TNA at all? How does this look to someone who thinks TNA is a joke and has thought TNA is a joke for 20 years? What's the presentation? What's the feel of the show? Does it look professional? Does it look major league? What are the backstage segments like? What is the audio quality? How's the ring lighting? Those are all things that I was going to be focusing on, and you're not giving me a good first impression here from your standpoint.
It just looks the same. And that's I assumed, maybe wrongly or stupidly, I assumed that this was going to be a new beginning for this company because they've been given another lease on life, which is the theme of maybe. But this is like that's the whole story of TNA is they continue to get new leases on life all this time. Like out of nowhere, something happens and it just works. Pan Energy comes at the exact right time. Billy Corgan comes at the exact right time. Anthem comes at exactly the right time. In this case, the AMC deal comes at a very good time. Maybe the WWE relationship comes at the right time. Whatever you want to say. And this is a moment for them to really begin an entire new chapter. And I got to be honest, as somebody who has dabbled in watching TNA over the last year, it's just the same. It's the same thing. It looks the same. It acts the same. Gia Miller's doing My Guest at This Time thing. Like it's the same. It's the same show that it's been for a while. Now, again, are they going to be giving us in the next hour a bunch of crazy surprises and crazy good? Maybe, but your point and my point is really that this show, because this new lease on life and because this was such a monumental thing for TNA, this company that should have died 10 times since the last time that they left a television station this big in Spike TV, the fact that we're getting just a fucking milquetoast TNA show like they give you every week on Access, it boggles my mind because this is your opportunity to get all those new eyeballs. For better or for worse, compare this to when they went live on Monday. Remember the January 4th live on Monday thing? Now, I didn't like that. Obviously, it was Hulk Hogan, and it was the Nasty Boys, and it was Eric Bischoff, and it was, all this sort of stuff. But at least that was a bunch of people that have not watched the show in a while are going to watch the show. Let's give them everything we possibly can give them. You know what I mean? Let's do everything we possibly can. I just think it really speaks to just the creative malaise of TNA and maybe the creative malaise of wrestling in general, that what they've decided to give us is this haphazardly thrown together lazy ass card, and AJ Styles appears, and that's it. And that is essentially all that they've done. And what I also find very funny too, and you pointed this out a little bit, and I think it's worth noting that you and I, when we talked about this show happening and the fact that TNA was going to be going on AMC, we said, you know what? And what you kept saying this too, and the big reason why you want to do the review is WWE's going to load the show up. You know what I mean? They're going to load the show up. We talked about AJ Styles. We knew he was going to be there. I mentioned The Undertaker. You talked about this guy. Like, we thought that WWE was going to say, it really does behoove us for our promotional partner to have the best foot forward, a really good showing. So we're going to give them a bunch of guys. We're going to send a bunch of guys over to this show to put over their young wrestlers or to face their young wrestlers or do whatever. Just do anything to get any eyeballs. They gave you AJ Styles appears, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm looking around, and for anyone that wants to argue with me, ESPN, I went to their pro wrestling section, nothing on their front page about this debut. I went to, I'm going to mainstream outlets. I went to Uncrowned. I scrolled down their Twitter feed for about 40 seconds, nothing, until I gave up. I'm on the Uncrowned vertical now on Yahoo Sports, and, I got to scroll down to wrestling. Okay, here's wrestling. Nothing on the front page in their little wrestling. Let me click the wrestling section. I'll go a little deeper to be fair. And that's where you find. Okay, there you go. TNA President Carlos Silva breaks down how TNA and AMC deal came together. That's a video from when the deal was first announced. So if you go to Uncrowned and then scroll down the wrestling, then click wrestling, then go into wrestling, and then scroll down, you will find a video with Carlos Silva on Uncrowned. So, yeah, I mean, my point here is just a complete lack of buzz. Silva, compare Tony Khan making the rounds at the start of Dynamite and really to this day to Carlos. How many media hits has Carlos Silva done in comparison to that? I talked about behind the paywall today, when you look at the rollout of new wrestling TV shows, when SmackDown debuted on Fox, they brought in Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. They had a Brock Lesnar world title win over Kofi Kingston. When AEW rolled out Rampage, They brought back He Who Shall Not Be Named. And it was a monster show, a monster sellout. What was that? Rampage number 2?
That was Rampage 2, yeah.
But you get the idea. Like, the whole idea was Rampage was being rolled out for the debut. So there was that. You look at the Raw moving to Netflix.
Well, Collision. Speaking of He Who Shall Not Be Named, Collision, United Center.
Yeah,
He Who Shall Not Be Named again.
The when Raw moved to Netflix, they did that special Raw where they did brought back all the old stars and did the big video in the beginning. These are examples of best foot forward. What the fuck did TNA do tonight to put their best foot forward?
Well, and we always talk about it too. You're gonna hemorrhage tons of viewers. You get that first night of a new network, a new night, a new whatever, you get that little bump. You get that little bump. A bunch of people that maybe haven't watched your show in 10 years or 15 years or 5 years or whatever are going to watch your show, but you're going to lose a lot of them. SmackDown lost a ton. Raw and Netflix lost a ton. They always do. They always lose a ton, but you have to keep as many of them as you can. You have to convert as many new people as you possibly can. I mean, God, look at the card. I mean, there is no way that you can look at the what they've presented and either say, that a bunch of people that haven't watched TNA in a while are going to say, well, I can't miss that show. I haven't watched TNA in 10 years, but that's a new network and that show, holy shit, that sounds awesome. Or this thing's got a ton of buzz. Like you said, it went in with almost no buzz. And if the show delivers to what I think it's probably going to deliver to, that hemorrhage fan, that whatever amount of people that tuned in this week to check out the new thing or whatever, I mean, my God, you imagine that number is just going to drop drastically, like it always does. The SmackDown one on Fox was one of the most, where we were really the only, I don't remember many other outlets that they're now shooting to a bunch of not that famous people and a bunch of empty seats. This show looks awful. Oh my God, the production values are bothering me so much. I should turn this off. Anyway, you're going to lose a lot. And we were the only media outlet that said when that Fox debut happened and that rating came out, we were like, whoa, that's a bad number. Everybody was throwing, throwing a party because it was like 8 million or whatever it was, right?
No, it was 5 million, somewhere in that range.
Oh, maybe we thought it should be 8 million. It was like 5 million or whatever.
It was in the 5 million range. We're like, that's a bad sign.
Right. And then it was down to 3 the next week and then 2. And then they just kind of settled around
1.9 to.
Right.
These shows typically will lose at least half of their viewers from the debut. I mean, that's been the pattern. I think you saw that, when Rampage settled, when Collision settled, when Fox, when Raw on Netflix has settled, they've lost. What was the first Raw on Netflix? With the views, at least it was, and they lost at least half of that. So, the only one, I guess, Dynamite started at 1.4 million and then settled around 900,000 a week for a while and then slowly declined from there. So they held a little more than half, but you can figure that you're going to lose about half of your viewers from your debut just based on recent precedent. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that leads into what my next topic of conversation was going to be. I mean, what do you think the show's going to do? For reference, the last Collision did 271,000 viewers in a 0.03, and the January 7th Dynamite, I don't know if we have numbers for yesterday's Dynamite yet, but January 7th did 516,000 viewers and a 0.08. So
I have to turn this show off, Joe. I can't wait for your review.
This is the best advertisement for the Patreon we've ever had.
Oh my God. So they're doing a segment. They're clearly wasting time. They're clearly just wasting time on the show. They're literally doing a segment where Gia Miller is talking to dignitaries. And the dignitaries are a bunch of people that don't have, they don't say their placard. I don't know who these people are. I have no idea. It doesn't say who they are. It's just people. I don't know who these fucking people are. I have no idea. They're shooting to an empty section of the building. All you see behind these people are empty seats. There's a row of people and then just empty seats. And they keep showing the empty seats. And the camera's staying on these people with all these empty seats. And then they cut to Candice Michelle. Yes, Candice Michelle. As she does.
Wait, who?
Yes, I don't know. I don't know why.
With the magic wand?
Yes,
and that Candice Michelle?
Yes.
The smoke show with the magic wand? I
don't know. She's not smoking anything right now.
Yeah, but I'm talking 2003.
Yes. No, I don't. But I'm like, what?
She's not smoking anything.
You'll see. But that was mean. I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, here's the thing. I don't think she was ever in TNA.
I don't think so either.
So they're just showing. So Candice Michelle is doing her wand, like she's doing her wand dance. You know the wand dance, like she would do that and then like twirl around and shake her ass and stuff. She's doing that to a cavernous building with a bunch of empty seats. And I'm like, what is happening? What is this? And now they're just showing replay. They are filling time on the show. How are you filling time? What are you doing?
There's no wrestlers there,
What
Rich.
are you doing? Have a show ready. Lizardman and Tom Dream. What's happening out here, brother? Like, what are we doing? And now I'm watching Santino. Fuck. I'm turning this on. I'm done. I can't watch this. I can't.
To speak to your point that there's no smoke there, someone in the chat said, I swore I thought that was Lou Diamond Phillips.
No. There's another guy. No, there's another guy that looks like Lou Diamond Phillips that they interviewed.
I thought it was Candice Michelle.
No, it was some guy. It was some Latino man. I'm assuming from an AMC show. It was not Candice.
I was like, man, Rich is right. She is looking rough.
No, she looks better than she looks hotter than Lou Diamond Phillips. But no, they interviewed a guy. I don't know, but they didn't put his name on there, so I have no idea. He's probably from some AMC show that nobody watches. But no, that was the guy who looked like Lou Diamond Phillips. Not. Well, I guess Andrew can clarify if you've met Candice Michelle looks like Lou Diamond Phillips, but I don't think so.
See my confusion.
That's really mean, but
I thought that because it came right at, you know. Oh, it's the live Flagship, folks. That's why the show's live.
I love TNA.
No one else will hear that segment. How do I get this back on track?
I have to either turn this off or we just don't get on track.
No, how can you turn? It's turned into a fantastic bit. You can't turn it off now. Are you kidding me? Where are your radio instincts? We got gold here. What do you mean you're going to turn it off? So, as I was saying, last week's Collision did 271 and a .03. As I try to do a serious topic here.
Yeah, please get us. Let's do ratings talk. Yeah. Let's talk quarter hours. Oh, we can't do that. Yeah.
And last week's Dynamite did 516 and a .08. So with everything, you know, with the lack of buzz and now this deluge of negative buzz, which may have actually worked in their favor in some degree to get people to turn it on. The fact that it's AMC, which, as you have pointed out, does not exactly set the world on fire ratings-wise with the rest of their programming, right? Don't they average like 250,000 viewers?
They average around 200,000 in prime time. So it's no, it's not the AMC of old. It's not the Breaking Bad era, the Mad Men era of AMC at all. Even the peak Walking Dead era. It is not that. Now there's still 8 Walking Dead shows on AMC, but yeah, I think it's like 28th or something like that on cable. Okay. It's not much.
All those factors considered, and then considering that, as noted, just based on precedent, they're probably going to lose at least half of those viewers 3-4 weeks from now, or the way you're saying, maybe hour 2 of this show. What do you think is a realistic goal for this number to come in on tomorrow when WrestleNomics drops the fucking drops the scoop and we get our notifications in our phones of a hot new ratings data from Brandon Thurston? What do you think is a reasonable goal for this show?
I think 300,000 for the debut needs to. I think they have to eclipse 300,000. I think it's a disaster if they don't.
Okay, so part 2, is that realistically attainable?
I think it is.
You do think it is?
I think it is. Yeah, I think for this show, like I would say anything from the 300 to 500,000 would be like a good. You know, we'll be happy for that, or we'll pop some champagne.
I think if they do 500,000, they're dancing in the streets.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, because again, they won't.
They're not going to do that.
They'll never do 500,000 again. But if they can do 500,000, they'll at least have some of the dumbest people in wrestling media talking about how, and the WWE cheerleaders talking about how they've beaten X amount of Dynamites, and that'll be something that'll last a few days in the whatever the fuck. But again, then that means they'd settle probably around 250, when they set up. Now, here's some more perspective for you. The last time we had numbers from Axis, they would touch 100,000 now and then. Not always. And when they had Kenny Omega on the show, they would go over 100,000 occasionally during that era. But so that's kind of like Axis. The high points would be like 120,000 going off the top of my head, but I know I'm close. And we'll even call it 100. Let's just call it 150. How about that?
Yeah, let's make it easy.
And the other, in bad weeks they would do 40 or 50. I've seen it as low as 40 or 50, but we haven't seen those numbers in years. Who knows what they were doing? I have no clue with the NXT affiliation, what they've been doing recently, right? But we just don't know. Nobody knows.
Right.
And then we have our AEW numbers. So when you use that, does that change the matrix a little bit for you?
I think this is
AMC
a little
versus
Axis? I think AMC is a little bit of a different animal, and but the thing about it is though, I maybe have to update my formulas in my head because I figured there was going to be a lot more buzz. Like I thought there'd be a lot more media buzz. I thought WWE would have a little bit more to do with it. They really haven't done anything. WWE has been completely, and I think that's the biggest thing and the most surprising thing for me is I at least thought that Michael Cole on Raw would say, "Hey, this week on AMC, TNA debut," like something like that, or let's give them somebody else. Let's on NXT, let's parlay an NXT feud and try to have that a match start on NXT and end on TNA or what, you know what I mean? Like something like that.
Do more too. Yeah.
And I guess I should update my calculus that way because that was me thinking that you're going to get enough NXT and WWE people that are going to say, all right, I should, check this out or watch this. Cause it might, maybe now maybe 200,000 is the highest and maybe we debut at 200,000 and we go down from there. In my head, for some reason, 300,000 is where I'm at for the debut, but that is probably, I don't know, that's pie in the sky. I don't know that I don't know if in my head they advertised the show the way I thought they were going to advertise it. So maybe it's less. Maybe it's even less than that.
Well, that means they'd settle around 150 or less, which would be below the AMC average, right? Because the AMC average is over 200.
I think they probably are about 200. I think they get close to that AMC average because pro wrestling does do well and it's live and well, live-ish, obviously they're gonna have some live shows, but the quality of the show is so bad though that it's, I don't know. Cause usually wrestling will outpace it'll usually outpace most other stuff on networks, but this is TNA we're talking about.
If the quality of the show is as bad as you're all saying, and if it ends up just being typical TNA Impact, which is not a good show, then wrestling fans aren't going to watch it. TNA fans are strictly going to be the only people watching it. And then it becomes a question of, well, how many hardcore TNA fans are out there that have access to AMC that are going to watch this every week? And that's going to be your number because they're not going to draw NXT fans or AEW fans or WWE fans or lapsed wrestling fans if the show is really bad. People aren't even going to put that on as background noise. So yeah, I don't know. I think that if they do 300 and a 0.04 tomorrow, should they be happy? Should AMC be happy? I would say probably.
Yeah, I think depending on what the deal was, which again, I'm assuming that AMC did not give these guys $500 million. You know why? Because they would say that AMC is giving us $500 million. I think AMC would be happy if they beat their primetime average for a show they're doing an ad split with. You know what I mean? Like that's good for them. I mean, I don't know what else is on Thursday nights usually on AMC or whatever, but if it's slightly outpacing what their primetime average is and it's an ad split, there's no need. You'd be happy with that. You'd be perfectly happy with that.
All right, so here's another topic. Tony Khan signs the Rascalz. I cannot be talked out of the fact that he rushed to sign these guys because this show was debuting tonight. That doesn't mean that he wasn't interested at all and maybe wouldn't have signed them at some point. But it has come out that they were never under contract. So if he wanted the Rascalz so bad, how come he waited till now?
So I think two of them were.
At any time.
I think it was Wentz and so Myron Reed was never under contract. Apparently, he was just doing per dates. I think Wentz and Miguel maybe. I think Wentz and Miguel were under contract, but those contracts expired in January. At the end of the year, and then Wesley or Desmond Xavier, he was not under contract because he just got released from WWE, so he was on like a per appearance date or whatever. Yeah. So Myron Reed and him were signable anytime you wanted, but I believe in January Wentz and Miguel opened up.
Yeah, I think that bringing in Jake something, who he is pushing, and bringing in the Rascalz sort of in this expedited manner right around this time has obviously availability is one factor, but the other part of it is, and we'll see, we have an hour and 15 minutes to see if this is true. I do think that there's going to be at least one jump from AEW. Maybe it won't be somebody big time. Maybe it'll just be a Danhausen type. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be someone that shows up on this show as a surprise from AEW, and that was kind of Tony preemptively and getting ahead of it. And you know, we got guys from them. Mm-hmm. Right. And also he knew he was losing Will Hobbs. So that deluge of signings that AEW announced last night, whether it was the Rascalz or all these dual contracts with the CMLL wrestlers, which Hechicero we've known about for like a year.
Okay. So I watched that on Dynamite and I thought because I get deja vu a lot. So when they were like, Hechicero, and I saw the graphic, I was like, hold on. In my brain, that happened in like July, right? Yeah. And so I'm not wrong. I mean, that happened in like July.
Case Lowe brought that up in an interview with Tony, and Tony just casually said, yeah, there'll be some more. You know, it's not like that was a secret.
Okay.
We all knew about Hechicero for a long time. In fact, he may have had a graphic. But I feel like this is Tony preemptively getting ahead of both the Will Hobbs thing and also whoever might show up on this show. Here's the bottom line. While only a fool, a complete utter fool, would ever think that TNA is serious competition for the mythical number 2 spot that doesn't even really matter, they're still right down the dial now on a real cable television station, and they are now battling for market share.
Of course, yeah.
And Tony knows that. And I think that Tony is now going to be way more aggressive than he normally would have been in acquiring TNA talent that's available that he finds interesting. I don't think that means he's going to bring in Hometown Man if he becomes available just because he can. But when the Rascalz or Jake something become available and they're the kind of talents that he can put to use, I think he's going to be far more aggressive than he was before.
Yeah.
And that's just business.
Yeah, that's just
how wrestling operates in modern American wrestling.
Absolutely, and Tony is, he's quoted as saying, I have a lot more fucking money than Jim Crockett, and TNA, for lack of a better term, they fucked with him a little bit, and getting in bed with WWE is kind of fucking with Tony.
He's fucking with him.
Yeah, so I could get how Tony might say, you know what? I got a lot of money and I kind of like these guys, and yeah, you use them. Well, no, you don't anymore because I have them all, and that. And people might say, oh, God, that's irresponsible. That's stupid, or that's bad, or I hate that about but that's kind of the ecosystem of wrestling. Like if you want to compete and you want to compete for market share, WWE would do the same thing to anybody else that competed in their market because they do all the time. They all fucking constantly do that. That's been their MO since 1983 is that if you're in their marketplace, they're going to fuck with you. And Tony is well in his right as well as, whatever spot he has and whatever spot he fills in the TV wrestling, the US TV wrestling, ecosystem. If you're trying to compete for his market share and you're in bed with the company that wants to put him out of business, yeah, he's going to fuck with you probably. So yeah, I don't know that. I think these are talents that, like you said, I think Jake something is someone that he probably wanted for a while, but I mean, it's not like he didn't try to sign the guy last year or 2 years ago or whatever. So if he really, really wanted Jake something, he could have offered him a big time deal any other time his contract was free. And he could have easily signed the Rascalz like in January, right? Like
does he rush to bring them in this week if this show isn't debuting?
I don't think they get a graphic unless this week TNA is on AMC.
That's kind of my point. I don't even think he necessarily is in some mad rush to bring them in either and get them signed they were in the building last night signing contracts. I mean, it's to weaken TNA any way you can, especially, when half the roster can't get to the building anyway tonight. And they're killing time by putting Candice Michelle and Lou Diamond Phillips on the screen.
It was not Lou. It was a guy who looked like Lou Diamond Phillips, for the record.
Yeah, and the guy in the chat clarified that he was not calling Candice Michelle Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yes.
So that was clarified in the chat.
This guy, I don't know who this guy is. They keep showing this guy. He must be on an AMC show, but here's this guy again. So, Again, maybe a little bit of like, here's the guy's name, a little thing to say what the guy's name is. Whatever. It's fine. It's okay.
So based on what you're seeing, do you think that this show is so bad that the WWE cheerleading grifter class can still do the what I like to call the Charlie Day increasingly higher pitched voice of, well, TNA, it could be the new number 2. We could have a new number 2 here with TNA. If they could be the new number 2. Do you think this show is so bad that those people can't even go down that road because it would be humiliating to even suggest something so preposterous?
So there's been a couple of debuts. I'm not gonna spoil them. They're not big debuts, but there have been a couple debuts that maybe the grifter class it'll give them a little bit of chum. You know what I mean? It'll give them a little bit to say, oh, well, that's a big pickup from TNA. Trust me, they're not big pickups. The ones they're not big pickups. But I think it's enough to, if you want to be a grifter and you want to lie to yourself and that's your character that you're going to play, I think there's one of the debuts is maybe enough for you to be like, they're 2 women who debuted in TNA.
Can Bully Ray, even though he's being... Stay with me here.
Dave.
Even though he's being paid by TNA.
I have to listen. Thank you for reminding me to listen to Busted Open in the morning. Thank you. Okay, go on.
Even though he's literally being paid by TNA, and even though he's literally an employee of WWE and has every reason to hype them up, which is really... And we say this all the time. People use TNA to beat AEW. TNA is like the stick that they beat AEW with. They don't care about TNA. They probably don't really think it's any good. It's just a passive-aggressive way to attack AEW, right? But do you think Bully Ray could even do that shtick based on the quality of this show? Do you think he can come on Busted Open on Monday with a straight face and say to his audience, what I saw on Thursday was a company that tells stories. There was heat. Everything was cohesive. And the booking, Dave LaGreca,
the stories
and the booking, Dave LaGreca, it all made sense. And this is a company that's going in the right direction. And we might have a new number 2.
Building for the future. It was a show about the future. What's coming next? What's coming at Genesis, Dave? What's coming next week, Dave? It's getting you prepared for the future of the company. Stories. It's not good, yeah.
Your Bully Ray sounds like Vince Russo.
It does. I can't differentiate. You are able to do that.
In the same way that my Rock sounds like Barack Obama.
Right.
Your Bully Ray.
Because me, like East Coast
Vince
loudmouths all sound the exact same to me, but that is not the case.
Right. So, yeah. And think of something. So, can he get away with that on Monday, or is this show so bad that he would lose credibility by daring to say that this show was good?
From what I have seen so far, it's going to be tough. It'd
be a challenge.
It's going to be a challenge. They also just debuted a guy that I honestly literally do not know who this is. And I watch a lot of wrestling, Joe. I have no earthly idea who this person is that just debuted.
Did Bully Ray have his segment yet?
No, I believe he is a guest commentator on the main event.
Okay. Do you notice that we forgot that he was one of the big selling points on the show? We mentioned Perez Hilton.
We did forget that, yeah.
AJ
So
Styles.
The Perez Hilton segment did just happen, and I don't know if it's gonna turn the tide of the number 2, the all important number 2. I don't think so.
Okay.
Don't think so.
Well, yeah, that's TNA. I mean, again, it's airing live as we do the show here live on this Thursday. We're about an hour in. I am being told in the chat that we are at the 52-minute mark. It is 8:52 p.m. Central Time as we record this. I'm being told that the second match is just now hitting the ring. Is this true?
Correct.
Wow.
And that second match is the Iconics versus the Elegance brand. So,
didn't AJ Styles say in his speech, I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know we all want to get to the wrestling?
And he didn't take up too much time, but we did not get to the wrestling.
Okay. Well, we're getting to the second match at the 53-minute mark of hour one. So maybe there really are just 3 matches on this show. Is that possible that there's only 3 matches on this show?
Oh, that they aren't going to actually add anymore? Well, I will say at the beginning of the show, they ran down everything that was going to happen, and it was just the 3 matches, and then we'll hear from the system. It's all it was. So it was the matches we knew, and then we'll hear from the system was all that they showed. So,
okay.
Yeah, Ash Jenkum in the chat room says, this is one step above GCW's Hammerstein show as the worst show I've ever seen. And again, I'm not listening, so I don't know, but does not, an hour in from what I've been watching doesn't look very great at all. But it's I can't wait to see these debuts that come, because you know what, these are going to be the grifter class is going to put over these debuts, and it's going to be hilarious. Like I said, it's going to really, tomorrow will be a very interesting day to find out who just truly has lost all grip on reality, like, your Eric Bischoffs and anybody that's paid by WWE or in a clear relationship with WWE that puts the show over. I mean, right, it's going to be like, not that they really had any credibility before, but it should be painfully obvious, like moving forward, who just has absolutely no credibility. But
all right, well, maybe the second hour is going to be gangbusters, and I'm going to have a great review to
I think, Joe, no matter what, you are on track right now, because the best thing a TV show can be to be a good review is either really fucking good or really fucking bad. And I'm going to tell you right now, this show's not boring, and it's not good. So I think you'll have a lot to talk about. I think it'll be a very, very good Friday TV review on flagshippatreon.com, $5 tier for the debut. Unfortunately, I don't know about the amount of episodes we're going to get of the Friday TV review, but we're going to get one. We got one for sure. You're not done after one, right? You're pretty much guaranteed 2.
I'll guarantee
how bad would it have to be for you to just say, you know what? This has been your Friday Impact review. I'm done. See you next Thursday for the Impact. I don't know. How bad does it have to be?
In my brain, okay, I thought, all right, I have to do at least 2. That's what I've been thinking the whole time.
I feel like you can't give up after 1.
I can't give up after 1. I mean, if it's atrocious this week and it's really atrocious next week, I'm not promising a third week. But we'll see.
I think you at least have to see how they follow up all the.
Of course I do. Yeah,
all the stories, because Bully's going to tell you, there's a lot of stories being built here, and you got to see it. Also, you'll have the fallout from TNA Genesis, and you can't miss the fallout from TNA Genesis.
No. How can I miss the fallout? No, but seriously, in my brain, I didn't want to give it away, because I want people to have fun with. Is he going to tap out after 1 week? Is he going to tap out after the first 45 minutes?
Yeah, people think you're done after you're going to halfway through the review, and you're going to. That's not Joe Lanza. That is not Joe Lanza. But I wanted to let people have fun with that. In my mind, I was thinking it's a 2-week commitment minimum. I can't throw the towel after 1 week. But here's the thing. I can't come on week after week and just completely destroy the show. That'll be so boring by week 3. That no one will want to hear that anyway. Week 1, everyone, if the show's really bad and I bury it thoroughly and have a bunch, people will love that. Week 2, if I do the same thing, people will love that. Week 3, it's like, okay, use your time for something else now. Now it's just, and maybe it'll be good, Rich. Maybe it'll be good. Right. We're only thinking of the negative here. We shouldn't only think of the negative. Maybe week 2 is really good. Maybe week 2 is fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Probably not, but
Eek.
This is going to be I can't wait. I can't wait to listen. All right. So also on this week's show, we've talked about TNA a little bit. We are going to preview that TNA Genesis, the big pay-per-view coming up this weekend from TNA. AAA has a Saturday YouTube special. We'll talk about that one. CMLL has a show this week on Arena Mexico. Friday, International Weekend features some AEW wrestlers, and it's going to be available on Triller. So if you're one of those people that's a little confused by the CMLL YouTube or whatever and just want to pay your $10 on Triller to get your CMLL, you are going to be able to do that this Friday from Arena Mexico. So we'll talk about what's going to be on that show. I'll do a little bit more contract season updates. We talked a little bit about the Rascalz here and Powerhouse Hobbs, but I want to go a little bit further with that and dig into all the different contract news going on. Plus a review of Noah's Legacy Rise 2026, a GHC title match there with Masaki Kitamiya and Yoshiki Inamura. So we'll review that show, I should say, Noah Legacy Rise 2026. So do we break the TNA, or do we just get all the TNA out of the way and then do contracts?
Let's we may as well just stick with TNA since we've been talking about it, right?
All right. So there is a TNA pay-per-view this weekend. Well, presumably these are the matches, but did I read right that the Genesis card is also being ripped up and changed because of visa issues? So this might be irrelevant. I don't know. As of
that's the thing.
Right
We're
now,
going to preview a show that might not even happen the way it's.
Yeah.
We can only preview what we know.
We can only preview what we know. So at 9 p.m. Central on January 15, 2026, this is the TNA Genesis card that they have promoted. Rich Swann versus AJ Francis. TNA Knockouts World Title match, Li Ying Li versus Danny Luna. Now, Danny Luna would be one of those people that I would say, if there's visa issues, is she one of the ones that's caught up in that visa issue? So we'll see. TNA World Tag Team titles, the Hardys versus your guys, the Righteous, Dutch and Vincent, who did a big attack on the Hardys on the show. So you'll see that. JDC in his final TNA Genesis appearance ever, JDC versus Eddie Edwards. So that you'll be waxing nostalgic all weekend about all of your JDC TNA Genesis moments. But this is it. After this show, when he's done with this match with Eddie Edwards, no more TNA Genesis ever again for JDC. So
yeah, okay.
It's a big one. That's a big one. So
yes.
Mustafa Ali versus Elijah. Maybe the horse will come back. It didn't. That was the last pay-per-view. We dragged him with the horse, right? And the horse handler who didn't like the idea at all of the horse being in the arena.
Horse,
yeah,
yes, correct.
Yeah. So you got to follow up to that. TNA X Division title 3-way match: Leon Slater, Cedric Alexander, and Moose. And then finally, your TNA World Title match: Frankie Kazarian versus the always dangerous ? Although it might not be Frankie Kazarian, it might be Mike Santana, but they've been promoting it as Frankie Kazarian versus ? So I'm guessing that Frankie Kazarian does retain the TNA title here tonight on Impact.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we don't know the main event until we know what happens in an hour.
Right.
I'm sure they're going to shoot the angles and all of that. So, what a weird preview this is.
Hell of a show.
Yeah. Maybe we'll come back and revisit with the actual card after they.
Maybe. You think they'll give you the actual card tonight? You're out of your mind.
No, Tom Dreamers. He's all organized.
Yeah. Lizard Man's going to get you the full fucking. All right, everybody. He's going to tell Facefuck Phillips, here's the new card. Let everybody know. So they can pay their hard-earned money to go to TNA Genesis, the Curtis Caldwell Center. You could go, by the way. Aren't you pretty close to the Curtis Caldwell Center?
Yeah. 3-4 hour drive.
Come on. For TNA Genesis, for the final TNA Genesis of JDC, you can make the 3 or 4 hour drive.
I don't know if I'd make a 3 or 4 hour drive for insert wrestling dream match here, let alone for TNA Genesis. So that's a long drive, Rich Craig.
That's a long drive. That's one way. Is that one way, 3 to 4 hours?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Although, where'd I go for that TNA pay-per-view a few years ago? Where the fuck was that? But that wasn't in Dallas.
I think that was just in San Antonio, right?
I don't even think it was in San Antonio. I think it might have been in Houston. Where was that? Where Tessa Blanchard beat Sami Callihan for the world title.
Yeah.
I think it was in Houston.
Let's see here.
If I'm not mistaken.
Hard to Kill, I think. TNA Hard to Kill.
Nothing. Hard to Kill, I think, yeah.
Let's see. The Bomb Factory in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, it wasn't Dallas. I went to Dallas for that?
Yeah, why'd you go to Dallas for the show?
I drove to Dallas for that?
At the Bomb Factory, because I remember, wasn't it weird? You had a weird parking situation at the Bomb Factory.
I did have a weird parking situation. Was Rob Van Dam on that show?
Yes, Rob Van Dam faced Daga, and you had to be there for that.
Sure that says Dallas?
It says Dallas, Texas, USA, the Bomb Factory, January 12th, 2020. Ken Shamrock was on the show. Was that the hook, Ken Shamrock?
No.
Because I'm trying to figure out the hook. Was the hook Rob Van Dam?
There was no hook. They just did all those media. It was a big, after each match, they talked to the media. So I went up there and filmed all that for the Patreon. But I can't believe I drove to Dallas for that. In hindsight, that's not a short drive for me. That's not a super short drive. And then drove home. I guess I did. I don't know. I thought that might have
a hard worker. Nobody can say you're not a hard worker.
That's true.
You worked your
2020 at least.
Yeah.
About a month before the pandemic.
Yeah, so it's a good thing you did, right? Because you weren't making any 4-hour, 8-hour drives to live wrestling during the pandemic. So it's a good thing you went to TNA Hard to Kill 2020 to watch Rhino versus Moose and the North versus Willie Mack in a handicap match, and
it was
Ken
great.
Shamrock versus Madman Fulton. I mean, all the stars were there.
Yeah, I didn't have to wear a dopey mask because the pandemic didn't happen yet, so I definitely wouldn't have went if it was huffing on a mask for 3 hours in that building. But yeah, I can't believe that was Dallas. I can't believe it.
You used to be a big drive guy. I don't know what's happened to you lately.
Yeah. Well, because these shows stink, Rich.
Yeah, because wrestling's terrible. Yeah, that's true. Okay, all right.
Why would I drive to these shows when they're always bad?
Right, because you drove to New Orleans for Masato Tanaka, right?
I drove to New Orleans for a Dragon Gate USA show, yes, and then drove home immediately.
Yeah, which is insane.
Because that was a 9-hour drive.
Yeah, it's a 9-hour drive. It's insane.
I drove 9 hours to go to one WrestleMania weekend show, and then tried to drive all the way home because I didn't set up any accommodations for my dogs because I was single at the time. And I thought I got to make it back or they're going to shit all over the house and they're going to need food and water, But like somewhere between the swamps of Louisiana and East Texas, I was like dozing off on the highway at like 4 a.m. I was like, I have to sleep somewhere or I'm going to kill myself. So I did crash at the first motel I came across. Luckily, it was something decent. It was like a Motel 6 or something. It wasn't like just a random East Texas.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Y'all looking for a room? I got a room. No, there's none of that shit.
With a spit cup.
So,
spit in the cup, yeah.
Hell, I guess I'll rent you something. Nothing like
Goes
that.
to the back wall, gives you a key from the back wall. That's how you know you're at a place.
Right.
Right.
A literal key.
12. 12. Here, room 12. Here you go.
Well, I think the police are still investigating room 9, so I'm going to put you in room 12. Yeah, none of that. It was like a Motel 6. So
I like how you're putting over a motel. It wasn't bad. It was a Motel 6.
Right. Well, at least it was like a chain. It was reputable, and I slept for a couple hours and then got home at 1 p.m. or something. But yeah, I drove 9 hours to that. That's where I met Alan for the first time. Alan and Sarah 4L. And that was the famous, ma'am, I assure you, this cat is a trained professional.
Yes, yeah, and Gabe having your credit card on a napkin somewhere that you still haven't been charged for, but never say never.
That was the show. I drove 9 hours for and then drove 9 hours back. So, yeah, look, if I'm going to get you, listen, if you're going to give me Masato Tanaka versus Chris Hero at Genesis, maybe I'll drive there. But I don't think I'm getting that, Rich Crates. You told me what I'm getting. Would you drive 5 hours for that?
I would not. No.
Yeah, so what do you want?
I don't know that I would drive 5 minutes for that show, to be honest.
I drove to see Masato Tanaka and Chris Hero and Johnny Gargano versus Ricochet and that
was a hell of a show. It was a good show.
And I drove when there was a fucking G1 show within driving distance, and that's shit worth driving to. I drove to the Dallas WrestleMania weekend at the fucking Eddie Dean Ranch, which to me was the last real WrestleMania weekend. I'll drive when it's worth my time. I'll drive when I know at the end of the drive I can clap and get into it. I'm not driving to TNA Genesis, which half the people aren't even going to be on the show, and the show on paper stinks anyway. Why the hell would I drive 4 or 5 hours to that? I'm not doing that. So, it's not like I'm anti-driving to the shows, but wrestling just hasn't been very good.
One thing I want to say, and then we can talk about the bad wrestling. If you are ever in that position that Joe is in, where you have a long drive and you're starting to doze off or whatever, stop at the hotel. I know it's a cost.
Stop.
It is the best sleep you'll ever get. Because you've probably, if you've gotten to that point where you're starting to doze off or whatever, you've been fighting sleep for hours. Like I've done those drives before, and I know I have 6 hours left or 7 hours left or whatever, and I'm like, I'm fine. And I go 2 hours telling myself I'm fine. And then there's always that moment. I don't know if you've had this moment where you probably doze off for maybe 0.2 seconds or whatever. It's like the second, and you wake up and you snap into it, and you're like, "Holy fuck, I was asleep."
Yeah.
And in that moment, pull off, and I assure you, after you check in and hit that bed, that is the best sleep you'll ever have.
Yes.
Because the weight is off your shoulders, the relief, the fear, the anxiety, you're like, I'm fine. I'm not gonna die. Right. I'm not gonna kill anybody, and I'm not gonna die.
And for what, $60?
Right.
Just get the fucking room.
Just get the room.
It's just get the room. I've had situations where I was dozing because I used to drive long distances for one of my jobs all the time, and I'd always try to, instead of staying somewhere, try to make it home. And then I've had situations where I was really in the middle of nowhere, Texas, and there were no hotels, and I just pulled off into a Love's or a truck stop.
I've done it.
And I slept it off in my car rather than, because I'm not going out like that. What a dumb way to go out if you just doze off for 8 seconds. That's an eternity. If you doze off for 2 seconds on a highway and drift into a fucking median and then have a tractor trailer hit your head on and you're dead, what a dumb way to die. And what a dumb way to take someone else out.
Right. Just because you're too stubborn to stop. Yeah. The gas station, find a big one. Like, Love's. I've done it at a Love's before. When I was coming back it was actually before Double or Nothing last year. I went to the Indy 500, and then I came home, and then we did Double or Nothing Instant Reaction Live. As I was driving home from the Indy 500, now I had woke up at like 2 a.m. to get there, had a long day, walked a bunch. I'm driving, and I'm dozing off, and I just said, dude, I need to do something. And it was, I went into the Love's, I got a cup of coffee, I chugged it, and then I fell asleep for like 20 minutes. Like it was only like 20 or 30 minutes or whatever, and then woke up and felt so refreshed. And had I just kept pushing on, like God only knows what would have happened. It's just it's stupid. Don't do it.
And the thing is, you don't need much. I mean, if you just sleep for 45 minutes or an hour, that's enough to where you're not dozing anymore when you try to drive.
But that hotel sleep, even if it's like 4 hours, you wake up and you feel like $1 million. You're like, oh, I can take on the world. I just slept for 4 hours at the East Texas, this Odessa, Texas, Motel 6 or whatever. I feel good. God, I'm so refreshed. And then you attack that drive and you're good to go.
And none of those tricks work. You can roll your windows down. You can turn the radio up. You can slap yourself in the face. You can sing along to the songs.
Yeah,
I play
dance music. Like I try to put on like the most aggressive dance music possible with the window down.
Yeah.
And I put eye drops in or what. None of it. It's just like stop.
It doesn't work. None of that shit works. None of those tricks they tell you work. You know what works? Pulling over and taking a nap.
Yeah.
Where you got to be that bad? Just go sleep it off.
The doggies are going to be okay. The doggies were fine, I'm sure.
Exactly. Look,
they shit in the house a little bit, but it's all good.
I came home and picked up some shit off the floor. You know what? There was a pee puddle by the back door as they were desperately waiting to be let out.
He'll be here any minute now. I'm sure of it. Staring at the door. These poor dogs are just staring at the door. I'm sure he'll be here. He's coming any minute. And then the noise. Oh, that's him. Oh, no, it's not him. And then deciding, what? Fuck this guy. I'm just going to piss right here and go to bed.
Yeah, they can't hold it anymore. Like, all right, so I had to use a whole roll of paper towels and then bust out the mop.
Yeah,
so what?
Fine. Yeah.
It's better than being dead. So what great advice. For once, we're giving people decent advice around here.
Right, because normally people would expect us to be just drive through it, you pussy. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely
never.
Absolutely
Get that.
Not.
And I stayed at I stayed at, in Alaska, I stayed at what the hell was it? The Puffin Inn. It was the Puffin Inn in Anchorage, Alaska. And I'm so glad I did.
Puffin Inn.
Because we had like a flight and it came in late, and then we got a rental car, and I drove for like 5 minutes in Anchorage, Alaska, and I was just like, what am I doing? This is so stupid. I've been up for 24 hours. I just pulled into this thing called the Puffin Inn, and they're like, yeah, it was basically like the Alaska version of your Texas thing. Well, they're like, oh, hell yeah, we got a room for you. And then they're like, breakfast in the morning. And I was like, it's fine. I'm not going to eat the Puffin Inn breakfast. Don't worry about it. But it was a fantastic, oh God, I slept good. God, was it a good sleep at the Puffin Inn in Anchorage, Alaska. So
I'm sure. Yeah, I bet it was nice and cozy to have the heat turned up.
Yeah, it's just like knowing that I had like a 3-hour drive ahead of me, and I was just fucking dead tired, and then just saying, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sleep in this bed for 6 hours and then do that drive in the morning. I don't need to do that drive right now. It's fine.
Yeah,
the Airbnb will be there tomorrow. It doesn't matter. It's just it's.
Be pragmatic about it.
Yeah.
Just,
Anyway. TNA not getting any better, by the way. Do have some breaking news though. You want some contract season updates
I would love some contract
because we have some TNA contract season updates. So the Iconics face the Elegance brand on this here debut episode of TNA on AMC.
Yes, they did.
Maggie Lee rolled up one of them. I don't know which one. They kind of look the same now, unfortunately. It used to be a lot easier to tell the difference between.
Are you saying that they're looking heavier?
No.
Would you say that they're looking
quite
heavier,
thin,
Rich Craich?
Quite thin, actually.
Because you're afraid to refer to boob jobs as boob jobs, so you're. This is a Dave Meltzer joke.
Yeah. Yes.
If you're not, okay. So she rolled up one of them.
She rolled up one of the Iconics or whatever, and they won the TNA Knockouts tag team titles. Carlos with his fucking trucker hat was out there. He loves putting those titles around people's waists.
Oh, he sure does.
Yep. And then the Iconics rolled out of the ring, and Fightful has reported that the Iconics are done with TNA and are seeking. They have interest from companies, quote, outside of TNA.
Loser leave town match, as it turns out.
It was.
Why wouldn't you advertise that as for the TNA Knockouts tag team titles and loser leaves town? Why would you not advertise?
Because you're bad at your job.
Because you're bad at your job. That is a layup. How easy is that? We're going to up the stakes. These teams hate each other so much that the loser is going to be working Portland next month. That's how you advertise this. They're off to the Blanchard territory. No outside the box thinking in wrestling anymore.
No, I don't think about it.
They don't get anything out of it. Well, the most disappointing part of this news is that they're going to pop up somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. I liked them in TNA because I didn't really have to watch them. And
surely Tony Khan cannot.
If he does, man, I am.
I mean, let them go to WWE. Put them on SmackDown where I never have to see them, and they could do their bits with. Oh no! Didn't they used to do their bits with Renee? That's who they did their bits with. Oh shit! Oh no! Now their bits are funny. I'll admit they have good comedic timing. Yes. Those two.
I always liked when the one would say, "Are you joking me?" That always popped me.
Yeah,
which
are you joking me? With the Australian accent?
I tell the wife, "Are you joking me?"
She's you got to be joking me with the Australian accent.
That was good.
Yeah, But I'm not watching a fucking improv show. I'm watching pro wrestling, Rich Rach. So I have no interest in that. This is dangerous. This is dangerous.
As Sajizzle points out in the chat room, Harley and the Iconics are very close as well, and Harley sings their theme. So
they're all Australian and shit.
And they're doing a tour of Australia coming up in February or whatever.
Not poutine, Vegemite.
Vegemite, not poutine. Vegemite. Foster's, Vegemite, things of that nature. The Australian things.
All the Australian stuff.
Liam of You've Got to Be Kidding Me. The three things I know about Australia: Liam, Vegemite, and Foster's. So.
Pro wrestler Gavin McGavin.
Gavin McGavin, yeah. Davis Storm.
The
retired Davis Storm. And me asking if he was going to work a show in Melbourne, and he's like, well, it's like a 23-hour drive, so no. I was like, okay. Australia's kind of big, so no, I won't be working that show.
All right. Gonna close this DM tab in embarrassment now. Sorry.
It's just because he was like, it'd be the equivalent of telling somebody from Oregon, hey, are you working that show in California, or like, are you working that show in Florida this weekend? And he's like, no. I live in Oregon. Why would I work a show in Florida?
Oh, God.
I heard DGUSA's running in Florida. You booked? No. I'm from Portland. Why would I get there? So,
asking Sonico if he's going to work for Sal. Those are some deep cuts. Yeah. I think Sonico's canceled. So
is Sonico canceled?
I think so.
Oh, man. They come for everybody.
Bat Boy is canceled for sure. Where's Andy Labar when you need him?
Yeah, is Sonico canceled? Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it was Bat Boy.
No, because he's still working like Defy and stuff. I don't think.
I apologize to Sonico. Sonico is not, in fact, canceled. Sorry, Sonico. I apologize.
Yeah, he worked Collision not that long, or in March, I guess.
It might be a tricky Google, but I think it's Bat Boy. Bat
Boy. Yeah, I'm not going to look that up.
Pacific Northwest route, but you're never going to find that. Indeed, you're going to get all kinds of dopey fucking Batman comic shit and everything before you get to
a bunch of Swerve cosplays. If I look up Batboy Wrestling, it'll be like Swerve Strickland cosplays or something that I don't really want to watch. So.
Does he do Batman or does he do like?
I don't know. I don't know.
The difference.
No, he does like deep cut ones that are people are like, oh, I can't believe he's that guy, and I'm like, I don't know who that guy is. So it's fine. Yeah. Whatever. Great. Slex the Business. Thank you, Dave P. 81. Slex, comma the business.
Yeah. Comma the business, of course. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what somebody said. Whatever happened to him? I don't know what happened to Slex.
No, he did a couple shots for the NWA, and he was one of the guys who came over and settled. I think he was staying in Canada for a while. I think he's working a lot just in places that wouldn't come across your radar. Mm-hmm. I think that's
he was one of the guys that was pulling up shop when Marty Scurll had the book in ROH, right? Wasn't he one of those guys? Yeah. Adam Brooks, him.
He was a pandemic victim of he got an ROH contract right when the pandemic happened. He was part of that group, and then the shit lasted so long that his contract ran out or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about way after that. Like, he's been in North America, bouncing around in different places.
Okay.
But he might be back in Australia. I'm looking at his cage match now, 2025. Yeah, by the end of the year, he was back working MCW in Australia.
Okay.
So, but he was for a while working in North America. And I want to say, I might be wrong about this, but I know some of the Australians were based in Canada for a while and were trying to, make it.
I think Brooks was. Yeah, I think Brooks was Canada based for a while, I think.
A few of them were, I think.
Yeah.
A few of them were. But Slex did do a couple NWA shots last year, because I went out of my way to watch a couple, but it didn't last long. It was a brief stay in at Billy's company. So,
all right. Well, that gets us started on contract news. The Iconics are free agents. They're TNA contracted no more. Also, some contract news. Hey, we'll talk TNA. We'll get through all those. Nemeth announced that he has re-signed with TNA.
Was that just a gimmick, or was that a real thing?
Felt kind of gimmicky. It felt like an attempt to cause some buzz. Because it was like this morning and
like, it was a kayfabe or was it real?
I don't know, because Dave LaGreca did like a big, we got breaking news coming up in an hour on Busted Open, and it was Nick Nemeth being like, I've re-signed with TNA, and then I don't know if you saw, they did a weird backstage thing with Carlos, and it was like they posted it on social or whatever, and it was Carlos and I think Santino with Nick and Ryan Nemeth, and they were like signing a contract, but it was like very poorly acted and it looked terrible. And our good friend Rovert on Twitter, he quote tweeted it with the best TNA contract signing of all time, TJP and Dixie. It had less sexual tension than the TJP Dixie one, but it had like the similar look to it. It was just like a wall. Yeah. It was just like a mundane wall, and then these men signing a contract, but it wasn't. Yeah, it had nowhere near the amount of dripping with sexual tension and erotica that Dixie and TJP had.
I'm getting text messages now from people around wrestling telling me how bad this thing is.
I'm telling you, man, it's bad. It's not good at all. We people are walking backstage. So presumably the main event is about to hit the ring. Kazarian and so they did not give you any extra matches. They did not say, here, this guy. They gave you the 3 matches they advertised in 2 hours.
Well, I will reserve judgment until I watch myself. As you know, I've never been one afraid to have a brave opinion. Would that be safe to say? So,
yeah.
We will see. Maybe I will think that this show is great. So I will reserve my judgment. What the fuck? They brought in Cora Jade?
Okay, all right. The 2 debuts, I guess, now that you know.
What the? Cora Jade?
Elena Black, and then Daria. The former Hair Up Square Up.
Hair Up Square Up.
Yeah.
What? Hell yeah. All right, now we're cooking with gas.
Yeah.
You know I love me some whatever her name is now in TNA. You know,
Daria Ray, which is wild because she's got like a cool ass, I think, what is it? Some crazy Italian last name that she's got. It's one of those other ones where it's like, that's a good name. Just go with that one. But they didn't.
Yeah, Baronato. Yeah, I know. Well, listen, it's Italian-American discrimination is what it is. I mean, we all know that's been the case for a long time, since we came to this country. But, I can look forward to that. Cora Jade, I could do without her forever. I thought hopefully she had that sweet, sweet OnlyFans money and we never have to be stuck with Elena Black ever again. But they must be paying her buckets because she's killing it, isn't she?
Oh yeah,
isn't she making money hand over fist?
Yeah, she's doing customs with Mandy Rose too. Like they're doing well.
It.
Yeah, they did a cage match customs not that long ago, so they're doing good.
I can't imagine what they're signing her to have gotten her in there.
Yeah.
So doesn't seem suboptimal. She's not going to draw a dime.
But she's the one that I said the grifter class will be like, that's a good signing. She has a lot of potential. And it's like, no, sure she doesn't. Yeah, she's the shits. She's terrible. What are you talking about? Like WWE
never got any better.
No.
Like, for them to give up on her when she absolutely has a look that they crave and everything else, that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, and had presumably a bad attitude as well. So Danny Luna out of TNA Genesis per Fightful. So that's exactly the name that I mentioned. If you said that there is going to be the visa issues, she would be the one. So Zarya of NXT fame is in, apparently. So Zarya. Yeah. Delta. Remember the grifter class doing the Delta.
Got it.
Do you remember that?
Where Bully Ray famously didn't know who she was and tried to pass it off on Dave LaGreca?
Dave, did you see who that was, Dave? What a debut by that person there, Dave. Do you know who that was? Dave, do you know who that was that just debuted? And Dave's like, I saw it, Bully. I saw it, Bully. It was incredible.
Dave, he didn't allow himself to be set up because then he said to Bully, I saw Bully. Why don't you tell everybody who it was? And then they basically played, we don't know who this is, ping pong for 45 seconds, and then never named her.
Oh, God.
And then never named her. So yeah, no, neither one of them knew who she was.
That was the CW debut of NXT, which also, speaking of Best Foot Forward, that show had a lot of shit on it. That was a big-time show.
I'll tell you what they didn't do. They didn't prepare their pre-show hosts on who was going to be on the show. They didn't do that. How are they not prepped for that? That was an amazing television.
We broke that down in the fight. I forgot that Dave then put it back to Bully because Bully was like, Dave, did you see who that was? Tell the people about her. And then he's like, Bully, I saw it, Bully. But like,
why don't you fill him in, Bully, on who that was?
Right. I forgot they bounced it back and forth.
Neither one of them knew who the fuck.
And Bully's like, I'm at a loss for words, Dave. It was incredible. And all she did was like cross her arms. It was like, she was in the corner and they put a spotlight on her and she crossed her arms and they're like, oh, it's Zarya. Or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, we're running down the Genesis card here on the show. So we got AJ Francis and Rich Swann. That is happening. Elijah and Ali. So that remains. So I'm looking now here. Facefuck Phillips is going through the card. Lizard Man must have passed the note over. Ryan Nemeth versus Mara Sade, the former Jakara Jackson. Fantastic. Can't wait for that.
What?
I don't know. Don't ask me. Li Ying Li versus Zarya. Hold on. I can only. I'm
intergender action.
Yeah,
with
Ryan Nemeth versus FKA. Cedric Alexander, Joe Hendry, and Moose. So Leon Slater will not be on TNA Genesis.
Oh, fantastic.
So is he one of the visa issues, and this is the whole visa thing that they're doing right now?
How the fuck? Who knows?
Who knows? But Leon is also out. He's the X Division champion. So what happened now? I don't know.
It's like they're at the bar.
The final dance, JDC versus Eddie Edwards, will remain on the card. Do not worry.
This is like TNA. TNA is the husband at the bar with the hot wife. And some guy comes over and flirts with her and invites her up to his room, and the husband's like, wait a minute, we're married. And the guy's like, I don't care. And the wife just shrugs her shoulders. And she goes up to the room with the guy and fucks him while the husband stands there at the bar and drowns his sorrows. That's this TNA Leon Slater WWE thing. That's exactly what this is. Like, he's under contract to you.
He's yours. What are you doing?
You're married to him. And it's incredible how feckless this fucking company is. Anyway, what's the rest of this dopey card?
So that was it. So everything was the same. Great. But as I suspected, the two people that may have been issues with visa, and I do wonder if the Leon Slater thing is a visa issue. Leon Slater is out. I don't know who the X Division champion is now. Maybe it's just a Joe Hendry, Cedric Alexander Moose match, and the X Division title's on the line. I don't know. I have no idea. And Danny Luna is also out of the Knockouts title match. So Li Ying Li will be facing Zarya. And then the match added that we did not have was Ryan Nemeth versus FKA Jakara Jackson. Marasade or whatever.
Wrap my head.
Who is the person that who's that match for?
Wants to see Jakara Jackson versus Ryan Nemeth.
Be blackballed out of wrestling. Ryan Nemeth. The fact that he is able to work constantly in TNA despite being blackballed out of wrestling is boggles my mind.
Young hot Briley versus Jakara Jackson. Who signed up? Who wants to see that? Is he still hot young Briley?
I don't think he's. Oh, is he on Twitter? Oh God, let's see. Hot.
I hope he's still hot young Briley. Because listen, for the rest of time, he will be hot young Briley like Machine Gunka and Suntan Biker Man. That's just how I know these people. Some people become their Twitter handle.
Oh shit! No. Hot Young Briley
changed it.
At Hot Young Briley is no longer available. Let me see if let me look up Ryan Nemeth on the Twitter. He might not have a Twitter. He might be the smartest man on earth and just doesn't have one. So, oh no, sorry, he's here. At Rai Nem Nem.
Oh,
at Rai Nem Nem.
Rai Nem Nem. This is a 40-year-old man with that guy. Hold on, how old is Ryan Nemeth? Shouldn't he? Let's see. So let's see if I can make fun of his Twitter handle. I mean, it sucks anyway, but let's see. Yeah, he's 41 years old. He's a 41-year-old
Well, Hot
man.
Young Briley is also tough if you're a 41-year-old too.
Yeah, but he was in his 20s when he was Hot Young Briley. Because he was Briley fucking Reed or whatever other porn name they gave him in WWE. It was Briley something, right? It was like Briley Reed or
something like that.
Yeah,
Briley.
so that was
what was he? He was Briley. Fuck.
Briley Snodgrass. I don't know what the fuck it was. Briley.
Let's go with that. Pierce. Briley Pierce. Yes.
A porn name. Briley Pierce.
Briley Pierce is a porn name for sure.
I just watched a porn with Briley Pierce.
Angela White and Briley Pierce. You're like, that's pretty good.
No, it was it could have been a woman, Briley Pierce.
Oh, Briley Pierce. I see.
Woman.
Okay, yeah.
Briley Pierce. I don't know if it was a man or a woman, but underneath where it said the tags, one of them was Briley Pierce. I could swear. I just saw a porn with someone named Briley Pierce. I swear that I did. You ever watch a porn clip and there's a couple different ladies in it and you're like, I'm interested in that.
You gotta click around a couple times, and the tags.
Yeah, and you gotta click around, like you click you
and you're
take
like,
a stab.
that's not her. Nope,
right.
That's not the one.
You
go
take
back.
you take a stab at it, but it's the other one, and you're like, drats. And then you gotta press back, and then you gotta fight through the pop-up again that comes up before the video. And then
with the gummies to make your dick gigantic. It's like, I don't need the gummy.
Come on, I can't skip for 3 more seconds. You gotta wait for the clock to count down, and then you can skip the pop-up. And then it's like you got to gamble again, because if it's a video with like more than 2 ladies, like you're like, oh, I can't guess wrong again, and like then you guess, and then you get there and you're like, yes, this is her page, and you're like, you're cracking your knuckles. You're like, let me click. Oh, she's got 97 videos on this. That's fantastic, right? So then you click the video tab, and you feel like you're at a buffet. But then it's always underwhelming. And you're like, I don't know. I just saw her.
She was good in that role.
Everything.
Yeah. I don't need to see her again. I've seen all of her.
I saw her do everything in that other video.
Right.
I don't know. Now I'm kind of like, this wasn't really worth the work. I don't know. So that's usually how that plays out.
It's never that rewarding. Yeah, it's never that rewarding.
It's never that rewarding. You're always like, I'm going to find her, I'm going to bookmark that shit, and you never do. You're just like, I don't know.
Maybe I saw her best performance already. Maybe this is the best for Briley Pierce. It's never going to get any better than what I just saw. So.
Exactly. Somebody put in the chat, tired of jerking off alone?
No, I'm never. They always ask me that. And I'm fine with it. I don't want to be jerking off with anybody else. I'm good.
And secondly, no, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I do not understand that reference.
Yeah, also, what do you mean? I don't know what the reference is. But no, I'm fine. Like, I don't want to jerk off with other people. Like, why would you? No, I'm good.
Sometimes that's what you are looking for.
Maybe.
Sometimes that's what you are looking for.
Dixie is in the house, Joe. Dixie Carter is in the house.
No way.
Dixie is
Carter.
here.
Well,
Carlos has introduced Dixie Carter to the screen.
Are they gonna bring out the flying Elvises at some point?
Sonny Siaki will be here any minute now.
Who, when I do impression of him, it also sounds like Barack Obama, oddly enough. All right. So are we finally done with the TNA Extended Universe? I'll tell you this. Did you hear about the Verizon dropout yesterday? The Verizon.
No.
Yeah, you obviously that's not your provider. Obviously,
I'm a T-Mobile man myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Verizon man, and Verizon was out nationwide for like 12 hours. I got a text message just now from Verizon. It says, "Valued Verizon customer, yesterday we let you down. For that, we are truly sorry. We'd like to extend you a $20 account credit that can be easily redeemed via the link below." Now, let me ask you a question. Why don't they just give everybody the credit? Why do you have to do this rigmarole where I got to go clicking links to get see, they can't just do a good thing. They can't just do a make good and just put the fucking $20 on everybody's bill next month. They got to make you click this fucking link.
And sign up because they want to grab your email address or your text. Please give us your phone number or your email address because they're going to still harvest your data. We have to harvest. We're going to give you a credit, but we have to figure out a way to make it advantageous for us still to harvest your data or whatever the fuck. Yeah, give me $20. Just give me $20.
On average, this covers multiple days of service. This credit isn't meant to make up for what happens, but it's a way of acknowledging your time and showing that this matters to us. Well, you're using more of my time, sir or ma'am, because now I have to click this link and probably fill out 19 forms. So now you're taking up more of my time. Because
guess what? They know that a bunch of people are going to say
are not going to do it,
and are possibly Joe Lanza is going to say, I don't need the $20 that bad, and you're just never going to do it.
They've got me pegged correctly, I would have to say.
Because you're going to click that link, it's going to say name first. No, they're going to do first name, last name, middle initial, address, and you're going to be like, you know what? I'm good. I don't fucking need this shit that bad. It's $20, Rich. It's $20, Rich. I'm good. I don't need it that bad.
God.
It's a meal.
Exactly.
It's a meal. I'm fine. I don't need it.
They know me, but I'd say
phone number, confirm your phone number, email, confirm your email. They're going to send you a text to confirm that you're the person that you say you are, a two-factor authentication. Enter the code, and you're like, fuck off, I don't care. Yeah.
All they have to do is give everyone a $20 credit.
Correct.
Some guy just has to press one button and give everybody a $20 credit, and this is totally unnecessary. And they could be sending me a text that just says, you're going to get a $20 credit. Sit back and relax and enjoy the $20. That's what they can do, but they don't do it.
Nope.
My wife texted me from work today. She said, "Is your phone working?" And I texted back, "No." And I didn't hear back from her.
She was like, "Uh-oh, his phone's still not working." Yeah.
So she came home and asked me if it was working yet. I'm like, "I was fucking with you.
Yeah.
I was fucking with you.
It was a bit, honey.
How do you think I sent the text? I'm fucking with you." So, anyway, what do we got? We're done with the TNA.
Please let's be done with the TNA. Yeah, I'll have it on in the background if anything happens. Bully did come out, by the way, to his commentary position, and the main event is hitting the ring right now at 9:30. Well, hold on, it's not hitting the ring because Arian's still making his way to the ring, but presumably at around 9:40 we will get our main event.
If this fucking show has an overrun, I'm gonna explode.
I'll keep an eye out.
This better not have a fucking overrun.
With 3 matches in 2 hours, yeah.
A 3-match, 2-hour show, it better not have a fucking overrun because I am not hunting the ends of the earth to watch the last 4 minutes.
Oh my God, I didn't think about that. You have to get on AMC Plus or TNA Plus to watch the last 4 minutes of the show.
To watch the last 4 minutes of Frankie Kazarian versus Mike Santana. I am not doing it. I'm not doing it, Rich. Now, when Dynamite goes over the overrun, I'm annoyed that I got to go to Max and watch the last 3 minutes of fucking Hangman and Swerve in a lights out match against Hobbs and Hook. You're going to make me go to the ends of the earth and find a way to watch 4 minutes of Frankie Kazarian, Mike Santana? Fuck right off. After giving me Cora Jade and Dixie Carter, you can fuck right off.
Daria, they gave you Daria Ray, though. Come on.
That's true.
And LA Knight and Ric Flair in a Car Shield commercial. Does that do anything for you? That same Car Shield commercial still airing. Good for them.
Well, not good for them if it's an ad split because how much is hard?
Carshield.com? Come on. Yeah, I will say I will say, I don't know the level of ads that are normally on AMC, but the ads have been a show that's on AMC and Car Shield is about all I've seen so far. So
yeah, well, that's $80 in the bank every time that one airs.
They got a better help ad? Oh, no, you're talking about Car Shield. I see. Sorry, I see what you're talking about. Car Shield.
Chopping up $80 every time LA Knight comes on the screen.
Yeah. Woo, yeah. CarShield.com. Where's the Jay Lethal? They couldn't get the ROH Jay Lethal fucking and Walt. Yeah. Kick out a knee pain.
Yeah.
Something called Walden University. Dude, they have gotten terrible ads so far on this show. So, anyway, it's so bad. All right, yeah, let's go to other contracts.
Jody Threat has re-signed.
Oh no, it's another TNA thing. Stop. Jody Threat re-signed with TNA.
No,
okay,
well, that's why I'm getting it in.
Yes. Okay, get it out. Jody Threat. Okay, she's in TNA.
Jody Threat re-signed with TNA.
Yeah, she did. Great.
And they lost the Rascalz to AEW, and I think we covered all the rest.
We got everybody else. Yeah, we got all the other TNA folks. So, okay, for God's sakes, we can finally move on. Powerhouse Hobbs is leaving AEW and presumably heading to WWE. So now you talked about this a little bit on the Thursday Dynamite review, a little bit about kind of the dynamics here of Powerhouse Hobbs and what, and we started to learn more about this as the day went on. And it seems from all indications that Tony Khan and AEW tried to keep Powerhouse Hobbs with a higher money offer, but he is betting on himself and betting that the grass is greener on the other side and is going to turn down the big money offer from AEW and go to WWE, which I think is, in one sense, I guess, is admirable the word? I don't know what the word, but I appreciate that this guy thinks that his career can go a different direction or that he has reached a ceiling in AEW or whatever. So he's betting on himself and he's leaving and he's going to WWE. I like that. I want that. I want more of that to happen in wrestling. So I welcome this change because Powerhouse Hobbs in AEW was kind of stuck in the same spot for a while, 5 years or so. Peaked out at the TNT title, peaked out at the Trios title, if you want to say. I don't know that if any time in 2026 or 2027, Tony Khan was going to wake up one day and say, well, goddamn, Powerhouse Hobbs, world champion. So he decided to, sacrifice some money and go to WWE and see if they push him better or different or whatever. And this is good. This is what I want. I scream about this a lot. And I want more of this to happen in wrestling where a guy hits their ceiling and either the company or the guy realize, all right, well, I'll try something else. And then maybe I can come back, and if I leave on good terms, I can go there for a little bit. Maybe I get over. Maybe I get crazy over in WWE, and AEW brings me back. Maybe I leave AEW, and I get crazy over in WWE, and I stay there for life. Whatever. If you just stay in one company, if you just stay doing the same thing you've been doing for 5 years, it gets boring because then you're going to do it for 5 more years, and then it's 10 years, and then we just always have Powerhouse Hobbs in the same spot or whatever. I don't know what he's going to do in WWE. I have no idea. I don't know if he's going to be way over. I don't know if they're going to push him to the moon. I don't know if he's going to be a star. I don't know. I'm just happy to know that somebody is betting on themselves, taking a chance, and going to WWE. So I like this. I want more movement like this in wrestling. This is exactly this guy leaving this company to go to another company. This is exactly what I want more in wrestling. I want people to do it from AEW to go to WWE. I want Jake something in TNA to say, you know what? AEW is going to offer me something more. Good. I'm going to go there and check, try my chances, whatever. I like this. This is healthy for the wrestling business. This is a healthy wrestling ecosystem that somebody like a Powerhouse Hobbs can look at where he's at in AEW and say, I've reached what I think is my ceiling. And even though I might take less money to go to WWE, this is what I want to do because I want to take a chance on myself. That's good, and I like that. And I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that it's not always about the bigger offer. And Tony did want to keep him, according to everything I've heard and all of the public reports, and made him very strong offers. And it's, we've seen other people in that same scenario, and they've taken less money to go to WWE. WWE is still going to win some of these based on the fact that they are WWE and that people ultimately want to be there. They're still going to win some of them. They're not going to win all of them. And with a lot of wrestlers, the money is still going to talk. But there's going to be situations like this where maybe Will Hobbs sees a ceiling in AEW. And for the counter argument of, well, maybe Tony should have pushed him harder, I would say that there's, if you know that a guy's contract is coming due and you're in negotiations with him and you don't have him signed to the dotted line, you can't really push him harder. you definitely, I've seen some people say, well, maybe he should have had the world title run that Joe had. On paper, that makes sense if he's sticking around. If not, you're not only handing him to WWE, you're handing him to WWE as a former AEW world champion. You're handing over someone who you just put your world title on. So I can understand why you would kind of pause someone's push before you know for sure you've got them locked in for another 2 or 3 years. That's not to say that I think Tony was definitely going to push Will Hobbs if he kept him. But if Hobbs would have signed that 7-figure per year deal or whatever and took the big money, well, now Tony has more of an incentive to give the guy a legitimate top of the card push because of what he's paying him. You almost have to justify the pay.
Right.
But he chose a different path. And we've seen the Stephanie Vakir. She was never under contract to AEW, but she publicly stated, I mean, she took less money to go to WWE because that's where she wanted to be. Ricky Starks turned down a big contract offer from Tony Khan. And, before he was then, froze out or whatever. And ultimately because he wanted to go to WWE. So we've seen this before with some other wrestlers. And, it's going to take a generation or two, and maybe it'll never completely be something that isn't a factor because they're always going to be the biggest and most high-profile company. And if you grow up a WWE fan, if you grow up wanting to have that WrestleMania moment, then some wrestlers are always going to see AEW as a pit stop on their way to WWE. And that's just the way it is. On the other hand, you're always going to have some wrestlers who are more artistic focused and like being pro wrestlers enough to where they like the freedom afforded with AEW. And if all things are close to equal, they're going to choose AEW. And I could give you examples of that. Will Ospreay is a perfect example of that. He could have gotten huge money in WWE. Now it would have been less. And we all know Levesque was mad about it. But Nick Wayne's another one. You don't think WWE would have signed Nick Wayne at some point and stuck him in the warehouse? Of course they would have. But Nick Wayne likes to wrestle, and he chose AEW. Darby Allin is the perfect example, perhaps, because there's a guy who doesn't want to be creatively restricted like he knows he would be in WWE. And Tony gives him that creative freedom. So it kind of works both ways in terms of these negotiations where you're going to have an advantage with some guys. You're going to have a built-in disadvantage with some other guys. And sometimes the money just isn't going to matter. Everybody listening has had a job where they either were fed up with it, hated their boss, felt like they were hitting a glass ceiling, were unhappy and just wanted to try something new, and were willing to take less money. And yeah, maybe it was just a couple bucks an hour or $10,000 or $20,000 a year, and it's not the same scale as turning down 7 figures for high 6 figures or whatever. But you get the idea.
Yeah, I've done it.
There.
Yeah,
I've done it too. I've taken less money for different kinds of opportunities or whatever the case may be.
I've also done the flip side too. I turned down a dream job because I thought the money was way, way, way below what I wanted. And even though it was a job that in my life, I would have never thought I would have the opportunity to take that job. When they gave me that dollar figure, I was like, I can't justify this as somebody who has to pay bills. Yeah, it'd be nice to chase my dreams or whatever, but I cannot justify this at this point. So I had to turn that down too. So I've been on the flip side of that. Yeah,
for sure. And I've changed jobs multiple times where I took less money for what I saw as greater opportunity long-term. So I get it. I mean, it's not always about the money, but, and in this case, it clearly wasn't. And we talk about this all the time. I just don't think Tony Khan is ever going to push big guys at that level. It's just not his thing. It's been 6 years. How much longer do we have to wait around and see?
Right.
He doesn't push those kind of guys at that level. You can get to the upper mid card. You could be Brian Cage or Powerhouse Hobbs or the Wardlaw or Lance Archer at times, or maybe this Davis and something. What's something's name?
Doyle.
Jake. This Davis and Doyle tag team. Maybe you can get to a certain level, but until Tony Khan pushes a big man all the way, that's when I'll believe that he's willing to do it. It's just not the way he books. It's not what he likes. So maybe Will Hobbs knows that. But I also think people are being a little unfair to Tony Khan from this standpoint. Will Hobbs came into that company during the pandemic as an unknown dark jobber who was working West Coast indies. Nobody knew who he was.
No, he was completely, he completely out of nowhere.
Tim Dog knew who he was. That's it. Okay. Nobody else knew who this guy was. And he came into that company as a pandemic era jobber and pushed all the way to being an upper mid-carder. So I do think it's a little unfair to say that Tony never did anything with him or never pushed him. I thought he built that guy up well. It was not fast. It was not a rocket pack, but he progressively moved up the card. And he had, secondary title reigns and those sorts of things. Again, do I think Tony ever would have pushed him as a world champion or a true main eventer? My gut tells me no. And you know what? I bet Will Hobbs' gut is also telling him no. And that's why he's making the move for presumably less money. So anyway, that's my take on that.
Yeah, I just think this is stuff that I wish more people did in wrestling. And I don't know about you, but when this news came, I didn't have, like, some people had dread. Oh my, and people are doing these big picture, AEW's got to do this, and they're not doing enough job, and they're not doing this, and they're not. I saw it as good. This is what a healthy wrestling ecosystem should look like, is a guy like Powerhouse Hobbs can say, you know what? I think I have reached my ceiling in this company, whether right or wrong. He's probably right, but whatever, whether right or wrong. And you know what? I have an opportunity at the other company. I'm going to try to take that. And you should take that. And that's a good thing. It's a new coat of paint for Powerhouse Hobbs. Did you want to see 3 more years of Powerhouse Hobbs doing what he was doing in AEW for the last 3 years? I know I didn't.
I mean, I'm not going to say it would. I mean, he just, I don't know, wouldn't have bothered me, but at the same time, do I need it in my life? No.
And I think it's exciting to me because what happens is this offers a new opportunity for Powerhouse Hobbs. So we'll see what the hell WWE does with him. I don't know. It's probably not going to go well. It might go well. I don't know. I have no idea. It doesn't matter what WWE does with him. The fact is that now Powerhouse Hobbs leaves, and what the big thing about this that people lose sight of every single time, and I try to remind people, is that when someone leaves a company, there's now a new opportunity for somebody else to step into that role. A person that maybe wasn't being used, a person that wasn't being, whatever. It's not a zero-sum thing. It's not like this guy leaves and it's just like, oh, God, blah, blah, blah. Like, there might be somebody else that steps up in that role. There might be somebody else new that comes up. There might be somebody else that we can now say, all right, well, we don't have Hobbs anymore, but we have this guy. All right, let's do some stuff with this guy. I've wanted to do stuff with this guy. It presents an opportunity for somebody else in the company that person left as well. The greatest example that we always bring up is New Japan. Is that when AJ Styles and the Good Brothers and Shinsuke Nakamura left, they didn't just say, oh, fuck, oh, God. They said, all right, cool, great. We've had Kenny Omega in waiting. Let's go. Boom. Kenny Omega was ready to slide right into wherever AJ Styles was, and it was an opportunity to now present Kenny Omega as a bigger deal. So it's like that's what I always try to remind people of, is that roster movement is good in that sense, because then that new opportunity comes for somebody else. And that, to me, is exciting, because I scream and yell and get so upset about how we're just stuck in such a hamster wheel with wrestling today, where it's just the same people, the same pushes, the same stories. And AEW is very guilty of this, because this company, if you really look from today to 5 years ago or whatever, a lot of the same names, a lot of the same pushes, a lot of people are in the same spots they've been in. And I've wanted so desperately for a little bit of movement to happen in this company, where people elevate, people move, people go down, people get de-elevated, like little stuff like that. There's been a couple of things here and there, but I think it's a show that largely feels the same for a while, and has felt the same for a while. So Powerhouse Hobbs isn't the guy that's going to completely change that and throw the whole thing for a loop or whatever. But again, I think this is a healthy wrestling ecosystem when people can leave and go to other companies. And it's not going to be the last, and it's not going to be the first. Somebody from WWE is going to go to AEW. People from TNA are going to AEW. People from AEW are going to go to WWE. That's fine. That's good. We want that. I want that. I don't know about everybody, but I want that in my wrestling, because I think that is good and healthy for everybody.
This way. Hook is now the number 2 man in his unit.
He just moved up. He just stepped up.
That's the kind of things that happen, when now Hook has an opportunity to be the number 2 guy in the ops, so it's like, that's one example of a spot opens up. Mm-hmm. Right. So that's exactly what you're talking about.
Yep, absolutely. Now that's not the guy I want to elevate, but sure. That's
what's going to happen here.
And that's fine though. But you know what? It gives Hook a new thing, and maybe they replace Hobbs with somebody else in the ops. Who knows?
Right.
But
right. And exactly.
But all kind of, and that's, I want people to not lose sight of that, is that when somebody leaves, it's not just oh God, we lost that person. Well, yeah, we maybe you gain somebody else too. Maybe somebody else now enters in that spot and does well. So that's something that you need to remember too. When somebody leaves. The Rascalz, all 4 of them are heading into AEW. We talked about it a little bit before. You and I think anybody that's listened to this Flagship for any amount of time knows our thoughts on the Rascalz. I'm good. I'm good on the Rascalz. I never need to see them, their dopey little hand motion, the weed references. I never need to see them ever again. I've seen the Rascalz. I've seen them wrestle 1,000 matches in my life. Locally, I saw a lot of these guys on their way up. So I'm maybe a little biased from that standpoint that I've saw a lot of these guys on their way up. And I used to really love almost everybody that's involved in the Rascalz. I used to think they were really good workers and really fun workers and really dynamic, and it was really cool what they were doing. But I've seen it time and time again. So we're not going to be the right ones to kind of get anybody excited about the Rascalz in AEW, because I just never need to see a 4-man tag or a 2-man tag or whatever. I don't need to see any Rascalz matches ever again. I'm good. I get it. They're adults that smoke weed. I got it. I get it. They do the little hand thing. They do flippy doos. I'm good. If you've seen one Rascalz match, you've seen them all. And unfortunately, I've seen about 1,000 of them.
We've seen a lot in the last decade.
Yeah.
They've been together almost 10 years.
Yeah,
and what's the little name you gave them?
Scramble match the team. Yeah, because that's
Scramble match the team.
Their matches resemble scramble matches, and I'm good. There was a time where scramble matches, I was like, whoa, this is exciting. A lot of people are in the ring and a lot of things are happening. There were times where the Rascalz 10 years ago were having these matches that I was like, this is incredible. But we see the Rascalz style matches on TV every single week now, and they mean less and less with every passing week, and especially these guys. I've seen
they're overexposed. It's a tired gimmick and act.
Yeah.
These are guys that need a fresh coat of paint in the worst way. And they're just going to come in as the Rascalz and do the same thing they've been doing for a decade, whether it's 3 of them, 4 of them, 2 of them. We've had different combinations of them, right? Like sometimes Myron Reed is part of it. Sometimes he isn't. 2 of them went to WWE. The other 2 did not. Now they're back together as a foursome. So it's always the same combination of guys, but it's always the same shit. And I've never been all that enamored with them to begin with. They're fine. They're all right. If you want to put them in an Ultimate X match to open up a TNA pay-per-view, okay. But again, how many times have I seen that? How many times have I seen it? So they're going to come in and have these all-star, or not the, or like these party matches in AEW, these 6-man and 8-man tags. And I'm sure that's what they're going to do. And my eyes are going to be glazed over like when I watch all these other party matches in AEW. It's a lot of the same. And I don't know. I would have passed.
Yeah,
I would have passed.
Absolutely.
I would have no interest in this act unless I had a good idea for them doing something different.
I think they're pretty replacement level in the way that they're going to be used. I think all 4 of them are very talented. I think particularly like Trey Miguel, I think is super, super talented, and there's something I could do with just Trey Miguel. And there's something I think Myron Reed is
or
very
any one of them. Yeah,
yeah, like all 4. You can have Zach Wentz if you want, but all 4 of them. There's something you could do it, but the fact that they're gonna be all together, and like I had the same thought that you had. I said, you know what? Maybe if there's a fresh coat of paint on the Rascalz, maybe then then I saw the graphic on Dynamite with the little hand thing and the spray paint logo, and I was like, it's the same shit. They're gonna come out. There'll be bong noises. It's the same shit over. They're adults that their personality is I smoke weed, which is like great. I'm glad for you, especially in the era of legalized marijuana in most of the country. Is there anything worse than I smoke weed guy in this? Like I grew up with I smoke weed guys, a lot of them. But that was when it was illegal, and at least it was like, oh, they're like, oh wow, they're daring or they're dangerous. All you have to do is go to a strip mall now. Anyway, like every strip mall in my town has a weed dispensary. Like it's not interesting if you're a weed guy.
Run by Angelico.
Yeah, right by Angelico. You just go buy weed. Like it's not that interesting anymore. So if you're still weed guy, I'm like, I have no interest in you. You know? I
don't know. It's just look, they can still do impressive flippy doos and all that. I've just never been enamored with them to begin with, and now I'm also tired of them. I don't know. I'd be okay with never seeing those guys again if I'm being completely honest. So look, if the argument is they can replace Top Flight or they can replace Leo Rush and Leo Rush and Action Andretti and at least be someone else in that role. Okay, but here's the thing. They've been around for a decade.
Right.
It's not someone fresh. It's the same act. It's the same act we've been watching for a decade. We've been watching all of these guys. So it's marginally new because it's new to this company. And, maybe they'll surprise us and they'll come in and they'll have this super hot run. I mean, the arc that I anticipate is they'll debut on TV and then either end up in ROH or the second hour of Collision or just off TV entirely. Sure. And they'll be hanging out with Ace Austin somewhere, not on TV. I mean, how is that not the most likely path? How is that not the most likely path? And then popping up on TV every now and then. And I really do think it was expedited by the fact that TNA was debuting tonight. And it was a chance to take one of their acts. I really do believe it was expedited by that. Plus losing Hobbs, saving face a little. Look at all the people we are signing, right? Versus we're losing this guy and Tony fumbled again, So anyway.
Moving on to some other contract stuff. Mascara Dorada and Persephone are officially under dual contracts to AEW and CMLL. Apparently, Hechicero is too, but again, that was in July, so I'm not going to pretend that one's very old news. But
do you remember the old meme? Old news is so exciting with the guy with the double fists, in front of his computer. How come no one uses that anymore? Do you remember that?
Yeah, what happened to that guy? I hope he's doing okay. Yeah, the meme.
That was from the forum days. You get the old news is so exciting. Someone would post that. It's like the middle-aged guy with his two fists clenched in front of the computer, and he's like, "Yes, old news is so exciting." Right? What happened?
He wasn't that old though. The guy wasn't that old. If you remember, he kind of had like a Gordon Gekko. No, look it up. Look it up on your phone. He had like a Gordon Gekko look to him. Yeah. You're thinking there is the old guy at the computer, and people would use that like when you fuck something up.
I know that one too.
Yeah, the guy with the coffee mug and the big smile with the big white teeth. No, the old news is so exciting guy. You'll look him up. He's got slick back hair.
Slick back hair.
Yeah, he looks like Pat Riley. He looks like a dollar store Pat Riley or whatever. So no, it's a little different, a little different. But that you would get that in the forum days because now apparently every week on our show, we're going to relive 2007 forum days. That when you'd post like a news article that already happened, or like somebody posted a week ago or 2 days ago or a couple hours ago, you'd get the old news is so exciting meme guy, and that's how you knew you fucked up and didn't search before. Be like, hey guys, Mike Tomlin's retiring, and it's like, no, we already talked about that.
We could call this the Sean Cedar meme.
Oh, poor Sean.
The guy kind of looks like Jeremy Sexton, if I'm being honest. This is so inside baseball.
This is
Voices of Wrestling
deep,
slack humor.
Deep in the weeds here. But you used to have to, and then people would be like, the search function's your friend or whatever. You get roasted, man, if you posted an old article. Like, come on, man. And rightfully so.
Somebody posted this 3 threads down. All you had to do was look 3 threads down.
It's true. It's true.
It is true. I missed that though. I'm going to start posting that again.
It's time. Bring it back.
I got to bring it back. I got to bring that guy back.
But Dorada and Persephone, it's interesting to see what they'll do with Dorada. I mean, I don't know that. I think this is more just a PR thing. Like, I don't think suddenly AEW is going to start using Dorada every single week on their TV. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know with Dorada. I have no idea. I mean, he's a very good talent, but.
Well, as Dave Meltzer noted, this is protection from them signing with WWE.
Right, exactly.
So there's that. And, it's useful from that standpoint in that it also helps your partner from losing these talents too. With AAA rapidly expanding. I have a bone to pick. Did you see this AAA story today?
I don't know if I did. What story you got?
All right, so AAA is going to be airing on Fox every 3 weeks. That's the headline.
Like Fox in Mexico, right?
Yes, but
it's a big difference.
But listen to me. Every story and every aggregation simply says AAA to air on Fox.
Oh God.
So if you look like on Twitter or whatever, all the comments are they're like, wait, what? Fox or Fox Mexico? Like, is it so hard to just put AAA to air on Fox? Parentheses, Mexico / Latin America, close parentheses. I mean, what are we doing? There's a big difference. There's a big difference here. And yes, you immediately deduced that Fox America was not put in AAA
right
on prime time every 3 weeks, but I can understand if people are confused. I don't know where the story came from, so I'm not picking on anyone specifically. But it's out there, and every single one of them just says AAA to Fox. So I don't know. That annoyed me.
That sucks. That's terrible.
But with AAA, this helps AEW's partner get a little protection from WWE coming in and potentially sniping talent. Although it doesn't seem like they're as interested in CMLL talent as we thought they would be. I thought they'd be interested in CMLL talent just from the standpoint of hurting a competitor, if nothing else.
Right.
But we have to give it time too, because the ink is just finally dry on the official transfer of the company, and they just changed the official name to WWE AAA. Like that is something new. So they're getting their claws in a little deeper. So when things finally get settled, maybe the Undertaker's territory will be more aggressive. Is he really booking it? Like, what is that?
He gets referenced a lot. I know that Pete Dunne is a big part of it. They always mention the Undertaker, but I cannot imagine. I mean, can you even fathom the Undertaker sitting down and, like, you know, with a big cup of coffee and being like, all right, so what are we doing with Nino Hamburguesa this week, guys? Like, there's no way, right? There's no way.
I really like this Cutrero kid.
This Lady Shani, I like to cut her a jib. Yeah, we doing anything with her? We doing anything with her, Pete?
Lady Shani.
He's also got a spit cup, like your Texas, East Texas. Yeah, he's spitting into a cup. So this Lady Shani fella, why she's a girl? Oh, she's a lady. All right, what are we doing with her? Yeah, like there's no way, right? There's no way. He's in the weeds.
Breaking down Lady Shani tape.
Pete, tell me about this Flammer. What's up with Flammer? Yeah. There's no way, right?
Oh, God.
There's no way.
I mean, I don't even know how that started. I thought Jeremy Borash was handling
I thought it was Borash and Dunn that were doing most of it. But then, they always reference Undertaker. So maybe he's in the weeds. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
It seems wild, but
yeah.
But everything the Undertaker does in 2025 and 2026 blows my mind. He does, like, this guy who was, like, so protective of his gimmick, and, like, you go to YouTube now and it's like, you know, he's got these terrible thumbnails. And you're like, what the fuck? What is going on with the Undertaker, man? Like,
doing soy face videos.
Right.
Kamu Mustafa said what to me in 1990?
The Undertaker shoots, all caps. Kamu Mustafa. Yeah, right. Like, what is happening?
Oh, God.
So ridiculous, yeah. Colby Corino has signed a multi-year deal to remain with the National Wrestling Alliance.
Good spot for him. He's still got the neck issues that might be warding off some of the other promotions. But look, if you can't get in with one of the big two or even TNA, it's nice to have another place where you can at least get a contract and have some stable income coming in, right? So that's where your NWAs of the world fit into the picture. So he's kind of been a stalwart there for a while, and he will remain. The big rumor, though, is Matt Taven could be headed to the NWA.
You know, so, I don't love Matt Taven, but that's a perfect spot for Matt Taven. Like, I that is, to me, like, that is what a guy like that should do. And that's good for the NWA. It's good for Matt. That's a cool opportunity. So I hope that happens. Like, I don't want to see Matt Taven as, like, the 40th guy on a depth chart of WWE or AEW or whatever, or TNA or whatever. I don't want, but like him in the NWA, that's actually kind of interesting. So I hope that's what he does.
Right. And hopefully it's someone they would push, because he's a million times better than everybody they have. The other kind of disturbing rumor, just when we started getting into this guy, Will Kroos. Now, this is just a rumor, but word going around Europe is that he could be WWE bound.
Yeah, he had a tryout in October there. So
and there's rumblings that he could be. Now, you know, look, he's working Noah. Now, we're going to talk about the Noah show, but he did score the pin in his match. But I wouldn't read into that, because Noah's affiliated with WWE. So it wouldn't be a big deal where they would want to, like, job him on the way out, because he might not be on the way out. He could continue working Noah, hypothetically. So that's one to keep an eye on. And then this SANADA thing. So Noah they're doing another LIJX or quadruple X, whatever the fuck they're calling it.
It's like, there's like 3 X's or 5 X's. It's a lot of X's.
There's many X's, lots of X's. And naturally, everybody thinks it's SANADA because he's taking, New Japan announced publicly that he's taking what they call it, a hiatus from New Japan.
Yeah, some sort of, I forget the exact wording, but a hiatus. I don't know if they said indefinite hiatus or long-term hiatus or something.
Yeah, something. I can tell you he does not have a New Japan contract. I think I talked about that on the air already. Now, the rumor going around, and I got this from someone, and then I also later learned that the Super J-Cast guys got the same information from whoever they talked to. But the rumor going around is that SANADA could be facing down neck fusion surgery. And that would either take him out for a long period of time or potentially end his career. So that would kind of explain a lot. right? The indefinite hiatus from New Japan, the fact that he seems to be taking it easier in his matches, doing a lot of shtick heavy stuff. It all kind of makes sense. Now that again is this is 100% like just, underground rumor stage kind of thing. I don't have it confirmed, but someone did reach out and tell me that. And I think the JKS guys had it too. So we have to keep an eye on that. So maybe that means he's not the X, or maybe he's just coming in and he's just, getting a few more paydays and going to take it easy and not take any big bumps until he has the surgery. But we'll have to see. But that could be, hopefully it is just a rumor and he's not getting, I would prefer if he's not getting neck fusion surgery. That would suck for the guy. But that's kind of the word going around on him.
Yeah, I think it's possible that he could be getting that surgery, but also he could be the X, because he can come in and just do a little bit of, he doesn't have to bump on his neck. He doesn't actually have to take a bump at all. Hell, Naito barely takes bumps when he's wrestling. Bushi's there for that, but maybe Noah wants one little pop there and one little thing, and we brought this guy in or whatever, and he can come in and just do shtick heavy stuff, and like you said, not really take any bumps and not really do any moves, and still, because presumably if your neck's fucked, it's been fucked for a while. It's not like one day. It's not like an acute injury. It's not like SANADA on the last show did a bump and said, my neck, fuck, I got to get surgery. Usually the neck fusion is like, my neck's been hurting for a while and now I'm going to go in and get on a knife. So it's possible that he's going to be that X. Like, I'm saying that both things are possible. He could be the X, but also soon be staring down neck fusion surgery. But I don't know. I have no idea. I know that people in the chat were pointing out that there's 6 X's in the X. We blew that. And the 6 X is, potentially SANADA. 6 X's, 6 letters, it could be that. So I don't know. We'll see. But I think both things are possible. I really do. I think they could still bring him in for the pop, for the, SANADA's here. And then he could still, by February go in and get surgery. Like, that's not impossible either, that he could do both things. So we'll see.
Yeah.
It's not, maybe is it the smartest thing? No, but guys work with, the shitty necks for a long time until they go get that surgery. It's again, it's not a surgery. If you go through the history of wrestlers that have gotten that neck fusion surgery, it's very, very rarely one thing happens and you go, that's it, I need neck fusion surgery. It's usually just over the course of years in a lot of cases. Your neck just hurts every day, and then you just say, okay, I can't live with this pain anymore. I got to go get the surgery. So it's possible you live for another month with this pain and get a couple Noah paydays out of the way. We'll see. But that's all the contract season that I have right now. Anybody else that you had on your list? We added the Iconics to this, but I think we're good.
That's everyone. I delete as we go, and we got everyone. I mean, there's just so many. I mean, this time of year is crazy.
I love it.
And we added a few to the list as we were going along, so I think we got all of them.
All right, we'll probably be back next week. I mean, this one of my favorite times of the year is to do these, and we do these shows until February, basically, these contract season updates, as people move and change and stuff. So, all right, let's get to some of the other stuff around the world. You talked about Noah there with Will Kroos, so let's just do that. Let's review Noah's Legacy Rise 2026. It's from Korakuen Hall, 1489 in Korakuen Hall for Legacy Rise, the big follow-up show to, obviously, their New Year's show. And let's just start right at the main event, and then we'll kind of work our way through the rest of the show. So the main event was Inamura defending the GHC heavyweight title against Masa Kitamiya. Obviously, Masa Kitamiya is the chairman of Team 2000X. And as he came out to the ring, my man Stu Fulton, with the line of the night, says, by now you're probably sick of hearing the Team 2000X theme. And I was like, yes, I am.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Correct.
I am. And then Mark Pickering said, and I'm sure they're sick of seeing Yoshitatsu. And yes, I am. Indeed, I am sick of Team 2000X and sick of Yoshitatsu, the epidemic that has swept through Noah, and it did not get better at all with this show. So the match, heavyweight title match, Inamura versus Kitamiya. The match itself, the actual work, I thought was very good, and I enjoyed the work a lot, but who could possibly give a fuck about a knee strike 12 minutes into this match when you know all that's going to happen is a bunch of guys are going to run in, and like 10 minutes into the match, a bunch of the Team 2000 guys ran in, and then they all got fended off for a little bit, and then these guys wrestled again, and again, the wrestling was good, and it was impactful, and it was big, strong, because Kitamiya and Inamura are very good wrestlers, and I like watching them wrestle, and they beat the shit out of each other, but I didn't care, and the crowd didn't care, and nobody cared, because you know that nothing is going to matter until, again, the Team 2000 guys run in, and again, they ran in, and then eventually Inamura, kind of long after they ran in. It was weird. They ran in at like the 10-minute mark.
Went on forever.
and then they ran in again at like the 25-minute mark. And then Inamura just kind of beat on Kitamiya for 3 minutes and pinned him and won. And I was like, all right, cool. That was what could have been a really good match. And then you ultimately made it long and annoying, and I hated it in the end because all I'm waiting for is Team 2000 guys to run in. Because I don't care. I don't care about the work. Because who cares?
Yeah, look, this was a really good big boy wrestling match until the first run in. But like you, I'm sitting around thinking none of this matters until Team 2000X makes their presence felt.
Right. Who could care about a Masa Kitamiya, knee strike 12 minutes in the match? Who fucking cares?
It's like watching a vintage Roman Reigns Bloodline world title match when nothing matters until the story starts, right? That's kind of what this is. What Pro Wrestling Noah is now is a Japanese promotion that is totally booked like an American television promotion. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, boy, do I have the promotion for you. And it's Pro Wrestling Noah because that's what they do. And so we got the run in. And now the key is Kano came in to run them off. Okay. And we'll get to that later. Because remember, Kano came out to challenge Inamura, but Kitamiya beat him up when he came out to challenge. And that's the reason he's in the match. Because again, this is just an American promotion now. So they did this thing where
it was so stupid. By the way, we talked about it in the New Year's show. Kano came out and he was going to challenge. Kitamiya is doing it, or Inamura is doing his promo afterwards.
Typical Japanese title challenge.
Yeah, and then, Kano comes out with the microphone. Right. It's like, he's coming. And then he walks to the ring. But before he can get into the ring, Kitamiya comes from behind and slams him into the post and then slides into the ring. And now Kitamiya gets the title challenge because he got to the ring before. Yeah. Stupid.
I got to the mic first, and people chuckle and laugh because it's cute. It's like stupid. Total American wrestling bullshit is what it is. So anyway, then this is the match, and then because Kano has a bone to pick with Team 2000X over that, he's the one who came in and ran them off when they came in to attack Inamura during the match. But then, like you said, after all that happened, the match went on again. It was forever. Like, my God, I was like, wrap this thing up already. So, eventually Inamura wins, and then Kano comes out again, and then Takashi Sugiura comes out, and they do the same angle again, and he beats up Kano.
Fuck us.
And then everybody laughs because it's funny and cute, and now presumably Takashi Sugiura is going to get the title shot, and Kano got his title match stolen again. So eventually we'll probably get a payoff on this, and you know what the payoff of this probably is? Kano joining Team 2000.
Of course. Yeah,
that's
of course it is.
The payoff.
Yeah.
And based on everything else that happened on this show and the last show. But it'll be Inamura versus Takashi Sugiura. And we continue this little Kano thing. Now look, if you like American style angles and all of that with Japanese style wrestling, I mean, I couldn't recommend a promotion harder right now than I would recommend Pro Wrestling Noah. Now, look, I didn't think this show was that bad. This show was actually, I thought was pretty good, especially in comparison to the last show. But I cannot stand their world title and main event scene. I can't take it. So it's not for me. It's not for us. I'm not going to go on the same rant every single time that we do one of these. It's just not for me. And but I do notice that if you watch Pro Wrestling Noah and you take a deep breath, now you should never have to do this to watch wrestling, but if you take a deep breath first and you tell yourself, okay, I'm not watching the old school green ring that I loved in 2000 and whatever. I'm watching something that has the same name, but it's American style Japanese wrestling. And you just turn off your brain and accept that it's fucking stupid, that it's not nearly as offensive as having your, what's the word I'm looking for? Your, if you're expecting something else. So that's the best thing I could say about Noah and their main event scene. Anything else on the main event, Rich Craig?
No, it's just, it could have been a really good match, and I enjoyed parts of it, but I'm doing the Nitro thing.
The work was excellent.
Yeah, the work in it. Yeah, if it was more like that, I mean, this is, and this is the thing with Kitamiya, who I think is a fantastic worker, and he had a great, what was it, last year he had that great match with Ishii, maybe it was 2 years ago at this point. And Inamura is a guy that I should love, but he's got this gimmick now where he's American Cowboy man, and everybody laughs. The post-match, which is supposed to be heat. We're supposed to get heat for Sugiura beating up Kano. And Inamura gets on the mic and goes, "What are you doing here?" in his like fake American accent, and the fans go, "Ha ha 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 ha." And I'm like, is all of wrestling just comedy? Can I just have
guys beating each other?
Can I just have Inamura say, "Fuck off. What are you doing, man? You want my fucking title? Come here, motherfucker.
Well,
I'm sick of you and the Team 2000 guys. Come here, motherfucker. Let's go." You know,
he also calls everybody Mr. So Mr. Kano, Mr. Kitamiya, Mr. Segura. You know, that's the other part of his bit, because they sent this guy to NXT and he learned sports entertainment.
Yep.
And he brought that back, and they still fill Corrigan every time. You know, I mean, it's not like they're not filling up Budokan Hall with this shit, but you know, they're able to fill Corrigan with it, and as long as they're filling Corrigan with it, and that's going to be. You know, you would like to not have your world title matches in Korakuen, but that's the state that everybody's in, with the exception of New Japan and Stardom. And I guess Dragon Gate too, right? So they're the only ones that aren't having their world title matches and their biggest matches in Korakuen. The other places are having a couple big shows a year, but essentially are having their world title matches in Korakuen every month. So that's where they're at, and they are filling it. And, you know, we'll see if there's a path to growth here. And unfortunately, if it works, other places will copy it. And that's, you know, the last thing as a wrestling fan that you want to see. So anyway, that was the main event. Let's circle to the top and go. Did you watch the whole show?
I watched that. Yeah, I watched everything. So we can do it.
All right. So we had Team Noah in the opener. They're working openers now. Katoge, Ohara, Hiroki. Are you happy David Bixen's fan who was bothering me all week? I called him Hiroki. I did it for you.
And you even put the nice little emphasis on it. That was good. Yeah.
Hiroki. I did it for you. And Taniguchi. Because he tells me, you know, he's like, I finally got name it, the co-host of his show. Why am I his name?
Chris Zellner.
Chris Zellner, our friend Chris Zellner. I finally got Chris Zellner to stop calling him High 69 on Between the Sheets. Can you please just call him Hiroki? So there you go. Hiroki. So they beat a bunch of young boys here. And I love these young boy matches because, it's good to see guys developing and showing fire and everything. So it's a little too early to really start parsing out which one of these guys you like and which guys you don't like. But, so this is the only time Team Noah's really going to win a match if they're in there with, a bunch of young boys. So, that was what it was. Any other thoughts on that?
I liked it because, I like these young boy matches, and those guys showed a lot of fire, and it was cool. This is the kind of wrestling that I could get down with. A bunch of young guys come in there full of piss and vinegar against the old vets or whatever, and the old vets, beat them down eventually, and little fire up moments with the young boys here and there, but for the most part, the old vets are going to stomp them down and put them into the mat and teach them a lesson. That's good classic pro wrestling. So this was one of the few matches on the show that was devoid of typical Noah bullshit.
Yeah, it's refreshing to just see a wrestling match sometimes, right? So
don't know why.
It's crazy.
Why do I have to say it was so good to just have a wrestling match where people wrestle and one team of veterans beat up and like that is seen as the exception to the rule?
Right. Yeah.
Rich, it's wrestling. Just have some fun with it. No. Can I just watch wrestling? Like,
right.
What? Anyway.
The aforementioned Will Kroos, Galeno, Jack Morris, Dragon Bane, and Daga. Fucking Wu-Tang Clan match here against they defeat Eita, Kano, Manabu Soya, Muhammad Yone, and Naomichi Marufuji. Will Kroos scores the pin. This was a party match. This is what has become known as a party match. I think people have dubbed those AEW matches party matches that they have on Dynamite now pretty much every week. And that's what this was. This was a lot of action and just guys flying around and Will Kroos scoring the fall. And as I noted earlier, I wouldn't read too much into it. He could still very easily be in the warehouse next month, despite the fact that he kind of gets his heat back here from losing the Progress Atlas title on the last big Noah show. So, Will Kroos is over in Noah. I think, it's that's one takeaway after watching a little bit of Noah the last couple of weeks. Will Kroos has gotten over with those fans.
Yeah, he's gotten over. He's got a good look. He's got the weird mullet, the weird hair. He's good. He projects very well. Like he's good. He's good. And unfortunately, he'll be stuffed in a warehouse, and we'll never see him.
Well, could just be a nasty rumor. Rich.
Could be.
Could just
Hopefully.
Be a nasty rumor.
Hopefully,
for our modern day nasty boy looking flippy boy, which is
it's a nice. I like it. It's a good combo.
It's like Jerry Sags, who's a flippy boy.
Yeah, like how would you not want that? It's incredible.
Yeah. Kenta defeats stablemate Oka Sasaki. Kenta putting on a few LBs. Was that just me that noticed that?
No, my notes say enjoyed the holidays. Did you, Kenta? Because he's wearing the same tights he always wears, but there's a little, it's full, little fold.
Little spare tire.
Little spare tire. Also the chin. He's got like a fat face right now. So
yeah,
maybe he's bulking. Maybe he's bulking for a summer cut.
That's not the kind of bulking. That's not the kind of
no,
bulking.
It's not. But that's possible. That's
a lot of like fruitcake during the holidays.
Yeah,
kind of bulking that he's showing there. A little too much. Well, they don't have Thanksgiving over there. Obviously. I was gonna say too much turkey. Whatever. I'm going off track here. So Kenta defeats Oka Sasaki.
A little too many slices of sweet potato pie for old Kenta. Yeah.
Sure. And the big news here is they get attacked as they're respecting each other in the aftermath, shaking hands and all that. They get attacked by LIJ. Bushi spitting the mist. And I have a question. Was that Tetsuya Naito, or was it a guy with like a wig that resembled his hair?
Oh, interesting. He was moving pretty good.
Now, listen, I'm not trying to start a conspiracy, but if you're Tetsuya Naito and your body's in the shape that it's in, and do you really want to show up to Corkin Hall just to shoot a dopey angle
midway through the show?
Midway through the show, and you could stick a guy under a mask, give him a little fake Naito hair, the way that Psychosis used to have the fake hair on his mask. And
hold on a minute, what?
Like Liger with the fake hair on his mask.
Interesting.
Now it's
I
hard.
hadn't thought of that, but I might do Zapruder film this running. I like it. Because when you say it that way, yes. Why would Naito, the world's laziest man, and rightfully, I mean, he's lazy, and it's fine. It doesn't bother him at all. He doesn't care, and he still is a star or whatever. Is he going to show up for the first hour of a Corkin Hall to run? You're right. When you phrase it that way,
who did all of the talking, Rich?
Bushi.
Mm-hmm. Why would Naito wear a mask under this scenario?
You're right. You're right.
Now, I will say this. It's very hard to replicate that crunchy, dry-ass hair of his. I don't know how you replicate that with a wig. I don't know what kind of synthetic you would use for that awful, awful hair that he had. But I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. He didn't speak. He was wearing a mask. They already did one fake out with him not that long ago, right? The new, I guess it was at which show? No, it was the Noah show where they had the fake.
The Noah show, yeah.
Right. I'm not 100% convinced it was him, but you might. If you want to go Zapruder, film it and pause it and look at the eyes.
I might because you're right. He did. Why would he not take the mask off and say, like that? That's a big pop in the building. Yeah, you're right.
Easy pop.
That's. I didn't think of that.
Easy pop.
I didn't think of that. That's a good take there.
So we've got a White Dove Central versus LIJ feud, or whatever Kenta's group is called. What the fuck are they called? The White Dove Enthusiasts.
White Dove Enthusiasts, yeah.
What the fuck? Hold on, I'll find it.
Yeah, get that.
The White Raven Squad.
White Raven Squad. Okay.
Get it? Because ravens are not white. Raven is a black
it's hilarious.
animal.
It's hilarious.
Right. So I don't know what's happening there. Different culture, can't judge. Next up.
Oh, sorry. And it was also noted that this was Oka Sasaki's send-off match as he's U.S. bound for an excursion.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Oh, did you listen on American English commentary or Japanese?
I didn't. I had the Japanese commentary on.
So they kept saying that this was his final match in Noah for now.
Oh, well,
as he's U.S. bound for an excursion. They did not say where.
Oh, God, he's going to NXT. Well, where do you think he's going?
I know.
He's going to NXT. Oka Sasaki. He's gonna come back in a stereotypical American gimmick.
He's gonna
he'll have the stereotypical Japanese gimmick.
Yeah, he's gonna eat sushi with Stax Lorenzo and Stax go uncooked fish. Yuck.
Yeah, but then he's gonna come back like in Amora, like as a fucking cowboy or something.
Yeah,
So that's so look forward to that. Team 2000X in this case. Alpha Wolf making his, I don't know if it was his debut, but it was his debut in in Team 2000X to me. Masaoka Terasuke and Takashi Sugiura against the All Rebellion team of Alejandro Haratoki, Kai Fuminora and Kaito Kiyomiya. So we cannot get through one pro wrestling Noah show without somebody turning and joining Team 2000X. And in this case, it was Kai Fujimura. And there are rumblings that Nosawa Rangai, our good friend Nosawa out of the question, is no longer in power in Noah, might not be the booker. His Monday Magic shows mysteriously no longer have Noah branding, which is weird and interesting, right? That they no longer have the Noah branding. And we know that there's kind of a love-hate thing there with his, but sometimes they send them away. Like there was a few years ago where he headlined a major show as an all-junior show. It bombed badly, and they sent him off. They banished him to Dragon Gate for like 6 months and then brought him back later. So there's been periods where he's kind of fallen out of favor. This could be one of those periods, or it could be like a Memphis thing where, you know, they just would take breaks. Lawler would book for 6 months, then Bill Dundee, then Jerry Jarrett. You know, they'd hand off the pencil. That kind of is how it happens with Nosawa in Noah. But when I see somebody turn on every single show, nothing has Nosawa Rangai fingerprints quite like that. Right. So that's the biggest piece of evidence to me that he's probably still booking the company, because no man in the history of the business has booked more turns per capita than Nosawa Rangai.
Ooh. So, you sure Russo? You sure Vinny Rue hasn't...
Per capita?
Okay, per capita. Yeah, because I will say right now, the Noah roster is probably, how many people would you say is on the Noah roster? Like the full-time Noah roster? 30 maybe?
Hold on now. Set Team 2000X aside. Do you remember the junior turns that would happen like 2 on every show?
That's true. Yes, Yohei and Hayata turned on each other. You're right. I forgot about that. Because there was that one person on Twitter that had like a cork board. Mm-hmm. And they would do an update every week. Like, all right, so this week Rascalz is actually heel, but Yohei is now here. And yeah, I remember there'd be this board, and it was just insane. You're right. I forgot about the junior turns,
and the Pit Vipers or whatever they were called. What was another unit at that time or whatever? Stinger. I was close.
Stinger. Pit Viper. Pit Viper.
Pit Vipers.
The Pit Vipers.
I was on the right track.
All cap Stinger. Yeah, all cap Stinger. You're right. Per capita, there's a lot. I think Vinny Rue, he would do it on every show, basically. But Rangai is now every show, and Fujimura is now the 10th member of Team 2000X, and they've gone through like 4 other people too. I mean, half the roster at some point. Every person,
Tetsuya Endo for sure.
Yeah, Endo was there, and then he left. I think Jack Morris was once a part of Team 2000X, and he is no longer. God, there's another guy I'm blanking on who. Well, I guess Omos. Yeah, Omos. Right. Poor Omos. I wish he was still there, man. He was great. Daga. I think Daga was a Team 2000X member. At one point. So this team will touch everybody at some point. Everybody will be a member of Team 2000X at some point. Kano, as you said, will definitely be a member of Team 2000X. Kaito Kiyomiya, I'm sure at some point will find his way to Team 2000X, but then somebody will leave, Ozawa will leave, and Kiyomiya will who the fuck knows? But it's a never-ending cycle, and of course, we have another one here where Fujimura attacks Alejandro, and he's now the new member of Team 2000X.
Yeah, and they tossed him the T-shirt. I thought it was funny because then Kiyomiya and Harutoki go in the ring, and they like attack Fuminora in the corner and look like the 2 dumbest people on the planet, because the rest of Team 2000X are just they're already standing in the ring with chairs in their hands. So then they immediately just bash these guys with the chairs and beat the shit out of them. And it's like, this promotion is so dumb. This is the dumbest promotion in the world. Kaito Kiyomiya is the worst booked babyface ever since like Sting in peak WCW.
Yes, he always finds himself in these foibles, and he just gets his ass beaten constantly. Right. And that's like modern babyfaces. That's a common thing with modern babyfaces. This is the show to go on my modern babyface rant. But that's like, if you watch old wrestling, like, if a babyface got into the ring and a bunch of heels had chairs, he would just get out of the ring. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, even in the peak of the Attitude Era, if he was outnumbered by the corporation, he just fucking bounced. He was like, well, I'm not going to beat 8 guys with weapons. I'm out of here. Like, fuck you guys. I'm going to go drink some beer and give you a middle finger, and then next week, I'm going to run somebody over with my car or whatever. Who cares? Like, but he would bounce. Babyfaces today will slide into the ring and then just get their asses kicked. And it's like, why would I ever cheer for this guy? This guy's a fucking boob. Like, how would I ever, for Kaito Kiyomiya to be like, all right, we got him. It's like, no, you don't. And then he didn't. And then they beat him. And it's like, you look like an idiot. It's so stupid. But that's what modern babyfaces are. They're stupid and lame, and they wonder why no one's over. I can't explain it.
Yeah. So there's your turn. And next up, we had Tetsuya Endo over Ozawa. And I guess Ozawa's hurt again. He was sending out tweets from the hospital with like the screws removed from his foot or his ankle or whatever. I don't know if this is a word. I don't know if this is a shoot. Quite frankly, I didn't investigate hard. Do you want to know why? Because I don't care. I can't bring myself to give a shit. I don't know how they would work hospital pictures though, so I'm gonna assume he's hurt again. Has he worked? Have they had a show since? Has he worked since?
Let me check, because he's doing like the fake hurt thing during all the matches.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so I don't know what.
I think he's just trying to play mind games there, and I think he's not long for Team 2000X. I feel like they're going to turn like the thing that we said that they're going to do with Moxley and the Death Riders. I think they might do with Ozawa here, where he just keeps losing and he keeps trying to do and his shit's just not working, and they might just say we're cutting bait on this guy. He has not worked since that match, but I think he's just working.
All right, so I can't bring myself to give a shit, but whatever. If he's working us, great, good job, sir, fantastic. And then the junior title match, Amakasa versus Daiki Odashima, and this rocked.
This is really good. This is a really, really good match.
Yeah, and Daiki Odashima has something. He's got a real crowd connection with the fans, and they're just really into him. And Amakasa is a guy I've always been behind. Ever since the gimmick change, I'm like, this guy's a top junior in Japan. He's one of the top juniors in Japan. It's not really a super deep junior scene in Japan, to be completely honest. I mean, New Japan junior, division, a lot of it's the booking, but I really like this guy. He's a veteran guy, and he always delivers. So he delivers here too with a guy who's honestly pretty easy to deliver with at this point, because if you put Daiki Odashima in a position where he's working as an underdog, these Noah fans are going to rally behind him.
Yeah.
So the question is, how far can Odashima go in terms of push, at some point down the line? 24 years old, one half of the junior tag team champions. So he's on the right path. But the other thing you have to worry about is, are they going to stick him in Team 2000X at some point? Mm-hmm. I'm not doing a bit.
No, it's the epidemic in this company. You can't take anything at face value. You can't appreciate that they've told a phenomenal story with Odashima. If you go back a year and a half or whatever, the guy comes in as your typical little young boy and just gets his ass handed to him by Kaz Fujita time and time again. And the story was he was lasting a little bit longer every single time. It was a minute at first, then it was 2 minutes, then it's 5 minutes, then it's 8 minutes, and then he's maybe getting a pinfall. And it's just little by little, and the crowd rallied and they loved him. And now he's just this hot, fiery babyface that people love. And it's really cool. And it's very fun and very organic. And yeah, it's just the epidemic of this company is that you cannot take anything at, value of let's see
it's
if
arm's length.
Yeah, it's arm's length with everything there. So yeah, it's like Odashima is one of the best baby faces in wrestling right now, but how can I possibly trust this company to not fuck it up?
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, we did the main events. That was the Noah show, which I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this more than the last show, and I didn't think it was terrible or a waste of my time. A lot of the stuff on the undercard is usually fine. I felt that way about the last show too. It's just the Team 2000X stuff. What are you gonna do? It's this is who Noah is. This is their DNA, and it's not gonna change as long as it keeps drawing. So
the TNA Impact debut on AMC not doing well on the cage match so far. The ratings are coming in. We have a 1, a 1, a 0, a 0, a 0, a 2. A 2, but it starts off with, good God, was this a train wreck? So that's not good. A 1, a 1, a 1, a 0 so far. So
that averages to like a 1.
Like a 1 point. Yeah, about that. Yeah, this guy says this is a parody of American Pro Wrestling television. Someone who's been watching wrestling for almost 3 years and mostly watched AEW. This is the worst wrestling show I've ever seen. Again, the best rating so far starts with, and I'll read his entire review here. This is a 2. This is the highest rating so far. Good God, was this a train wreck? 3 matches on a 2-hour show. A combined 32 minutes of the show, less than 25% were matches. Why TNA had their debut right before Genesis, I have no clue. Didn't even have the X Division title match. And what does Silva do next? Bring back 60 Carter? Oh my fucking God, why? Why is something I've said a lot during this show, if you can even call it that. And Silva has gone full 2016. And the main event was pointless because why have Santana lose the belt in the first place? Pray for TNA because boy, do they need it.
You know, I have hardly been the biggest AEW cheerleader over the last couple of years. I think everybody knows that. But anyone who still dares compare this company to AEW, you need to be shunned. I mean, it's just can we at least please stop that? Can we at least stop that facade from the grifter class? This is what I meant at the top of the show, Rich. This might be so bad that you can't even do that act and perform that act with a straight face. That's how bad this might have gone for them. And I haven't even watched it yet. You know, it's you might not even be able to pretend and do this this passive aggressive routine.
It's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be hard. It's pretty rough from what I saw.
Same old sorry ass TNA is really all there is to it. I
mean, maybe even worse too. And this is the thing that we talked about it for Bound for Glory as well. Like they had a little modicum of hype after Bound for Glory, and what they do, they took off like a month. They just didn't have TV. And they're never prepared. This current regime is just, they got the TV deal. Yeah, good, great. But they're never prepared to do, they're stupid. It's just, they miss easy wins all the time. They got an AMC and this is the show. It's just, it's unfathomable, but it's very fathomable because it's Tommy Dreamer and Lizard Man and they're stupid and they're bad at their job. So I don't know. But yeah, early returns not good. So Friday TV review, Friday Impact review coming your way. Flagship, patreon.com, $5 tier. Make sure you get on there to listen to Joe recap and review the entire show. So now I've given him a little hits here and there. I had the show on mute, so I watched it on the side. But Joe will have an extensive breakdown of this entire show. Flagship, patreon.com, $5 tier tomorrow at some point. But that's it for Noah, right? I don't think we have anything else on the Noah show.
No, that's it. We covered the whole Noah show.
Yeah.
Now, next week, this is a busy week coming up in Japan. There's a couple All Japan shows. The 0-1 single elimination strong tournament is on the 17th.
Should I get on that? I got to get on that service. Can you help me get on that service?
I can. I mean, I can only tell you what I did, which was just change my name to Kanji and then put in a fake Japanese phone number and address, but you just have to make sure the format is Japanese.
Something got messed up. Yeah, something got messed up last time I did it. I got to do it, which I also love too, is that our Discord is single-handedly keeping, what's this thing called? It's core, not core. Big Japan's the core. What's this 01 Neo or whatever?
What are you talking about?
The 01 streaming thing. What's it called?
About the name of the app?
Yeah.
Base Neo.
Okay.
01 Base Neo.
Because you came on and you're doing the updates or whatever, and you're like, I'm subscriber number 96 or whatever, right? Like, were you 96?
I think I could look right now. Hold on.
I think you're 96.
I think I was not. I think I said I was 96, but let me make sure. But that's not really the point.
No, the point is that if
I was 96, sure. Yeah,
okay.
I was 96.
You were 96. Well, the point is, on Discord, somebody else in the miscellaneous Puro Discord, which is great.
Okay, hold on. I was 94. I'm
94. Okay, then hold on. That changes things because he then posted, I'm 97 or whatever. And I'm thinking, my God, like it's only us. It's just us. And the other thing too is that's assuming that nobody is dropping off. That all of the 97 people that are subscribed, none of them have dropped off, which is a terrible number. If even if every one of them are subscribed, 97 people in the entire world subscribe to the streaming service. And again, that assumes that number 33 didn't say, I'm good.
Hold on, sir. Streaming service.
App, I guess.
Excuse me. This is an app. There's no streaming going on here. Okay.
It's an app.
01 Base Neo is strictly a phone app, and I have to mirror it to my TV.
Oh, of course it has no cast or anything. You got to like airdrop it or
I have
mirror
to just
it.
use my phone and TV technology to do it, to just mirror my phone screen to my TV, because luckily they're both Samsungs, so it's compatible. Yeah, it's a whole thing, but I've gotten it to work. They also don't upload shows in whole. It's always the match is split up, and there's no option to just click play and watch the whole show, which honestly is a little, for 01 is kind of convenient, to be honest.
There's some stuff.
Watch the whole show.
Yeah, there's some stuff you could probably skip.
But anyway, their tournament's coming up this weekend.
I should probably get on that. Maybe this weekend I'll get on that.
Well, I don't know. Now, look, they don't upload thing. It takes a while for them to get the matches up. But so you got time. But, they've been doing on their Twitter feed, they've been having celebrities and wrestlers do predictions on who they think is going to.
What celebrities are they pulling?
Like Japanese celebrities, not.
Well, no, I assume that it wasn't the guy that looked like Lou Devin Phillips on.
No, right, but I can't tell you who they are because they're Japanese celebrities. You're asking me who,
I see.
I'm like,
well, you don't know the modicum of fame of these people or whatever.
No, I would have no way of knowing. No way of knowing. But they had Fuminori Abe. Make his
he's just a roster member. He's just a guy on their roster, right?
Well, he doesn't even wrestle for them. He's not in the tournament or anything. But they're just bringing in different people to give their predictions. And I thought his was funny because he said that he said Tanaka-san has the most match experience and might rise to the top. But the reason he's picking Masato Tanaka is that he says one time he was stranded in America without a place to stay, and Tanaka let me crash in his room for several days, fed me breakfast, and even treated me to a cheesesteak. There's no way such a kind person wouldn't win. There's no way he isn't strong. So he picked Masato Tanaka to win his side of the bracket because he bought him a cheesesteak when he was stranded in America.
Hell yeah.
So on the other side, if I had to pick a rival to face him in the finals, I'd say player Chris Weiss will make it there. The reason is that photos of Chris Weiss and Dungeon, his pet cat, are always just too adorable. So he picked Chris Weiss because he thinks his cat is...
His cat Dungeon is adorable.
His cat, whose name is Dungeon, is adorable. He says, lately, whenever I open SNS, which I'm assuming is a Japanese social media gimmick, my timeline is flooded with people's gossip, sad incidents, and political issues. Nothing but unpleasant things. Let me tell you something.
Here, about, Fuminori.
about our social media.
Yeah, welcome to America, brother.
But even in the midst of that, the account Daily Life of a Heel Wrestler, which is Chris Weiss's little blog thing, is full of smiles and happiness. That's why I want him to reach the finals. Rather than because it would mean more posts about the tournament, it's because it would likely mean more posts featuring Dungeon and Chris Weiss. So how about that?
We got to give this guy a podcast. Is there any way we can we message Fuminori Abe? He needs a podcast on this podcast network. I love his insights into wrestling.
This is great. And then he goes back on all of it. And then he goes, oh, this has turned from a champion prediction into just my personal wishes. Getting back on track, my champion prediction is Junya Matsunaga.
What? A man of strong convictions, this Fuminori Abe. Yeah.
So then he picks neither one of them. And the reason is that he's just so intense and fired up. And above all, he seems to have more stamina than everyone else. So, that was. So if you want to check out the rest of the predictions on the 01 Twitter, they have other wrestlers and celebrities who are making their picks for this big single elimination tournament coming up on the 17th. So whenever that gets uploaded, obviously I'm going to do either some audio or a write-up on it. So same thing with Impact or TNA or Impact. Whatever. As long as 01 remains interesting, I'm going to keep covering it. That's really all. That's what it comes down to. And right now it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It's a big tournament to see if Hayabusa can, beat Tanaka again, because they face each other in the first round. And then if he wins the tournament, he'll get the title shot with the win. So this could be the setup for Hayabusa to win the title later on down the line this year. But Matsunaga's on their side of the bracket. Matsunaga just pinned Hayabusa in the tag tournament. So Hayabusa could beat Tanaka, beat Matsunaga and get his heat back from taking the loss, right? And then win the whole tournament. And I think he'll beat Daisuke Sekimoto in the final, because why would you bring in Daisuke Sekimoto to work this thing if he's not going to? And that's a good scalp for him to beat.
Right, you have him there to put the guy over.
Hayabusa over. Yeah. So tournament's going to be interesting. So, and it really does have a lot of cool names in it.
I think we have one more week until the big All Japan show. That because you're talking about the Kento Miyahara versus Talos match and that stuff.
Oh, are those the weekend
That's the 25th.
of the 23rd?
That's the 25th. Okay. So we have a week gap between the All Japan. I'm trying to see if they have anything coming up this next weekend. But were you talking about the Kento Talos? Yeah, that's the 25th.
And the night before, not the night before, but the show before that's a little Shin Kiba show that we really don't need to cover. I don't know the date on that one, but that has like the prelude matches to the Talos title match in Chiba. So I don't know the date on that. But yeah, that would be behind the paywall content, if anything, if it even gets watched. But yeah, the Chiba show, I guess, is next weekend, not this weekend.
Yep. So you got it.
Oh, but the New Japan tour kicks off this weekend. That's the other thing.
Yeah. And there's going to be 2 Lucha shows that we might have to talk about as well, which we can get to here in a moment whenever you're ready to.
Yeah, let's go.
Move on there. So AAA is doing a Saturday YouTube special. This is their debut on Fox, right? Or whatever. I don't know what the hell's going on with this one. But it is going to be on YouTube for us in America. I don't know other countries. Figure it out on your own. I don't know off the top of my head where AAA is going to be. But the big match here, AAA Mega Title, #1 contendership match, El Grande Americano versus Vikingo. So the winner will get the #1 contendership for...
Which, by the way, for people who don't pay attention, El Grande Americano is a babyface in Mexico now.
Correct.
So,
yeah,
that's how things are going in AAA.
Yeah, and Dom is still the AAA Mega Champion, but he's hurt. So I don't know if this is like for #1 contendership in a couple of months, a couple of weeks. I don't know what.
I think they'll just wait that out.
Probably. Yeah,
they're not going to take the belt off Dom.
I agree. Lady Shani versus Flammer, because they only have 4 women. It's her, and then Lola Vice isn't on the show, but that's the other. And then who is? They use one other woman too that I'm trying to think. Not who's the other woman that they use? So they only have like 4 that they've been using lately. I guess is it just these 2, Natalia and Lola Vice? Or am I missing another AAA? I forget, but yeah, it's an endless stream of these women, and then La Parca, Mr. Iguana, of course, Nino Hamburguesa versus the Vipers. Abismo Negro, Hysteria, and Toros. So,
well, that's a little different. They don't always use those guys.
Yeah, that's at least because those are kind of the guys. Some of those guys, especially Negro and Abismo Negro and Hysteria, like those guys are the ones that they tend to use. We always talk about this, that AAA still operates weirdly. Like Triple H still operates like a house show circuit.
Right.
Where they use a lot of their local talent, a lot of the normal AAA talent, but these big shows, these YouTube shows or whatever, that's when Dom comes in. That's when El Grande Americano comes in. That's when, all the American, that's when Lola Vice comes in, and that's when they bring all their talent.
And the approved roster members.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. That's when a Mr. Iguana, they have a list of somewhat approved people.
It's always the same ones.
Yeah, it's always the same ones of every AAA show. And that's when they bring in Ethan Page and Chelsea Green and the real stars, a.k.a. people from America, come in and mix it up with the somewhat approved list of AAA people. But that's all they have right now, as far as I can tell, for this Saturday show. So,
well, it sounds great. I can't wait.
Yeah, and Lucha Blog kind of theorized that it's like they kind of forgot that the show was supposed to happen and just kind of threw something together last minute. So there you go. Clap, get into it.
Oh, great. It's always great when you forget that a show is happening.
Yeah. It really inspires confidence in your partnership. CMLL, they have a pretty big show coming up. Arena Mexico tomorrow. And as I said, this is going to be on Triller. So if you are one of those people, and I get it, the CMLL YouTube thing, it's not only expensive, it's also kind of confusing at times too. So I get how some people might, just say, whatever. But Triller offers it for $10. I think you get English commentary as well. And if you need a hook, a lot of AEW talent on this show tomorrow from Arena Mexico. You have the national title, Ricochet defending the national title against Teton. You have CMLL World Heavyweight title, #1 contendership match. Obviously, Claudio Castagnoli is your CMLL World Heavyweight champion. #1 contenders match here, Hechicero versus Roderick Strong, which sounds awesome. God, does that sound awesome. Hetch and Roderick Strong in Arena Mexico, man. Count me in. Blue Panther versus Ultimo Guerrero. Cavanario and Soberano versus Bishop Kaun and Toa Leona. That sounds... interesting to me. Your guy Coyote's going to be here, right? That's your dude, right? El Coyote?
I love Coyote, yeah.
Yeah,
I hope he bites his opponent's foot.
You know what, Joe? I bet he will.
He doesn't do it every match, though. He saves that. He's very he's a lot like Lance Archer. He doesn't give you everything in every match.
Yeah, he protects the gimmicks sometimes.
Some of the moves. You're not getting the blackout every time with Lance.
It's true.
And you're not getting the foot bite every time with El Coyote.
Well, it's not Triller. It's International Weekend. I don't know.
I hope he busts it out.
But
and he makes that sound. When he's biting the foot.
He's got a cool little the mask.
I like that guy.
The mask is pretty good too. Yeah, it's. This
is not fully ironic. I enjoy watching him perform.
See, and people think that Joe Lanza doesn't like fun in his wrestling, but you like
kinds of fun.
You like fun when it's funny. And when it's good.
I don't know if that guy's really a coyote or not. How am I supposed to know?
He's El Coyote and he bites feet. I mean, how would you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who are you to doubt El Coyote? So
exactly.
But no, it looks like a pretty fun show that they're gonna put on there. But yeah, it's internet. I think that's. Let me check if Lucha Blog's got the whole card, because I thought as of yesterday, last I checked. Let's see here. Last I checked, that was the card. Let's see here. Yeah, that's it. That's all they have. So you got Max Star, Valiente Jr., Futuro, and Felino, Stuka Jr., the son of Hiodel Stuka Jr. And who's this other guy? I don't know I don't know if I've seen this guy before.
Well, I'm not looking at what you're looking at.
El Cobarde? I don't know who this dude is. Have I seen this guy before? Let me see. The mask. Yeah, I don't know.
So Road to New Beginning starts this weekend too. Now, I did do a Flagship Plus a couple days ago where I previewed all of the key stuff from Road to New Beginning. I previewed the 0-1 tournament in detail, and I previewed those All Japan shows that are coming up next weekend too. So if anyone's looking for super deep previews of all those big Puro shows coming up over the next 2 weekends, you can find it there on one of those Flagship Pluses. So just look for the descriptions. Yeah. I'm very descriptive in the descriptions of what's on the actual show, so it should be easy to find. So, yeah, so I'm sure we'll be talking some New Japan next week, maybe a little bit of Lucha.
Yeah,
and
the Saturday show, the Saturday
TNA Fallout.
Oh God, yeah, if you want me to watch Genesis, I'll watch Genesis. If we
have
to,
watch
yeah,
Genesis.
I'll watch the fucking Genesis. That's fine. Saturday, apparently, CMLL had a Arena Coliseo. They sold it out like almost immediately. Dorada and Mystico, Mascara Dorada and Mystico versus Bandito and Commander as your main event. Angel de Oro, Nebula Roja, and Volador Jr. versus Bishop Khan, Ricochet, and Toa Leona. Defunto versus Roderick Strong. Roddy is having a hell of a weekend, man. I can't wait. And then Lee Moriarty versus Shelwa in the ROH Peer title match. So that should be a fun show too. So maybe I'll watch both of those.
Yeah.
Watch the Friday show, watch the Saturday show. Genesis. Yes. I hope I just run out of time. That will be the last one. The problem is, and I shouldn't do this, I should just fucking watch Genesis live or the next day or whatever, because what's going to happen is, and you know this, and you've been here before, you watch all this other stuff, and then it's Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and you're like, fucking Genesis, god damn it. And it's just, you're down to the wire, and it's all you do the day before. Even though it's only a 3-hour show or whatever, it feels like it takes 9 hours. You know, one of those things, and it's just, but I'll do it. TNA Genesis.
Yep.
Got to cover TNA this week. So
got to do it.
Got to cover TNA this week. I think that's all I have on my list. You got anything else? Are we going to give you guys 10 minutes of your life back?
No, I got nothing left.
I'm out too. So, all right. That is it for us here on the Flagship. We went 3:30 last week, so we'll give you 10 minutes back this week. So again, as we talked about, Friday Impact reviews coming your way. FlagshipPatreon.com, $5 tier. This is going to definitely be one to check out. I am positive. Seeing what I saw and seeing the reaction that I'm seeing, you are going to have a field day with this one. So that'll be tomorrow on FlagshipPatreon.com. Friday Impact reviews, $5 tier.
I don't even know if I can live up to the hype at this point with how bad this show sounds. How can I even satisfy the listeners who think it's going to be?
I think you can.
All right,
I think from what I saw, I think it is so bad because I know the difference, and I've reviewed enough wrestling to know fun bad, and I think you got fun bad here. Because there's like boring bad, and that's the worst. Boring bad is terrible. Boring bad, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to talk about. And shows get that way a lot. And Impact will be that by week 2, week 3, week 4, it'll be boring bad. And that's probably when you're going to bail. But this show felt, especially knowing when you get to the segment where Candice Michelle is spinning around and there's just a sea of empty seats, you are not going to be able to contain yourself. I'm positive of it.
Well, hopefully my review is as good as the review that Eric Bischoff, John Layfield, and Raj Giri are doing on YouTube right now. Hopefully I can match their...
Are they live?
I think it might be over. They went live after the show.
I have to watch that, right?
Well, Bischoff sent out a tweet saying, "Bring a pad and pencil. You're going to get a class." I don't know what that means.
I love Eric Bischoff's tweet genres are the best because they're these like he'll use words and he'll use sentences. He's smart enough to know that, but he's always just like, they're leveraging great heat here. Take notes or whatever. And it's just like these
words. Vague
ass, like, what are you talking about? Like,
so I don't know if that means he thought it sucked or if he thought that it was good. Like, but again, he presents himself as the all-knowing, authoritative person in wrestling. When obviously, and he has actually managed to sell people it's
unbelievable. Even though he's a career failure, constantly
he knows nothing. He's
constant failure.
Nothing.
How's Real American Freestyle Wrestling going, pal?
He knows nothing.
How was your run booking SmackDown? How was your run booking TNA? How was WCW? How is Ninja Stars doing? Like, what are we doing? How's Matt Rats doing?
Midget wrestling.
How's midget wrestling doing?
Celebrity wrestling league. Like,
how's celebrity wrestling doing? How's your production company with Jason Hervey doing?
Just a total wake of failure at every. Like,
how's your mortgage business doing? Is he selling loans anymore? I don't feel like I see that anymore.
Yeah, he might not even be able to pull that off. I don't know. He wouldn't even have to sell mortgages if any of his things were successful.
Any of the other 12 things we just noted were successful, yeah. So 83 weeks with Eric Bischoff, the tweet that got sent out. Wrestling with the police siren emoji.
Oh.
Police siren emoji. Wrestling fans, this is a big one. Police siren emoji. Tonight, immediately following the debut of TNA Impact on AMC, microphone emoji. Eric Bischoff and John Layfield go live with their instant reactions, uncensored opinions, and real-time breakdowns of the show everybody will be talking about. No waiting, no rewrites, just raw live reaction from two of the most outspoken voices in wrestling. What rewrites would you have?
Well, Raj Giri's on it too now.
So another meeting, a real meeting of the minds there.
Right.
What is the no waiting, no rewrites? What does that mean?
Well, because TNA rewrote their show tonight. I think they're taking a shot at TNA.
Okay.
I think.
I think, yeah. Or like, do their podcasts typically have rewrites? It's like they finish a show and they're like, oh, that's not good.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't go live typically. I don't know what it means. I don't know.
Don't ask me.
I don't know. Fucking Conrad verse stinks.
I gotta find out if I have to find out if this show is if I can watch. Do I have to subscribe to anything, or can I just get this show? Because this is great. Oh, it's live right now.
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. I'm watching this. I am definitely watching this when we're done with this show.
YouTube.
Yeah,
it's free on YouTube.
There's not that many people watching. I'll just say. I mean, there's more people watching them than us. But if we did this show for free and this was available to everybody,
not free. It's not apples to apples.
Right. We're not far off though. I'll just say we're 3 hours in. We just got done previewing and reviewing
and
Noah.
We're paywalled.
And we're paywalled, and we're not that far off. That's all I'll say.
That's not great.
That's all I'll say. Yeah. Well, I'm going to get my pad and my pencil, and I'm going to check out what Easy E thought of TNA. But again, if you want to find out what Joe Lanza thought of TNA Impact debut on AMC, flagshippatreon.com. Also, additional stuff on flagshippatreon.com. You get all of our instant reaction lives, all of our bonus shows, all the bonus audio, written content, all this stuff's available for you guys at flagshippatreon.com. But that is it for us this week. That is Joe. I'm Rich. Talk to you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Hi, I'm Andrew Rich. And if you're like me, you look at the state of modern wrestling discourse and think, wow, what a cesspool. That's why I'm here to tell you about Music of the Mat Remix. That's right, your favorite wrestling music podcast is back with a new format, where I bring on a guest and we play songs related to wrestling-themed topics. It could be a wrestling reference, a wrestling concept, a wrestling pun, things of that nature. Now you might be saying, Andrew, that is a very, very tenuous connection to pro wrestling on a wrestling podcast network. Is this just an excuse to hang out with your friends and talk about music and ignore the rest of the wrestling landscape? Yes. Yes, it is. So listen to Music of the Mat Remix on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network, available on Apple, Spotify, or your podcast player of choice.
Do you like wrestling trivia? Then check out the 5-Star Match Game, the Pro Wrestling Quiz Show. I'm Joe Gagney, and every episode, I grill 3 contestants with 5 rounds of power-packed wrestling trivia. We have over 30 evergreen episodes in the archives covering WWE, AEW, Japan, Mexico, and much, 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 much more. Play along at home and check it out today.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.